Chapter 847. Earth. Magic City. The moment Zhang Tao and the others returned, everyone was silent, raising their heads in anticipation, as if waiting for something. Zhang Tao smiled, looking at Li Jun. Li Jun's face was pale, too lazy to care, not saying a word. Zhang Tao smiled again, then raised his right arm high, shouting, "This battle! Victory!" A roar! The sound traveled thousands of miles. At this moment, almost everyone in Sino Nation heard it. Victory! Victory! Humanity will win. Sino Nation will win. The high-pitched roar resounded through the sky. In the sky, the dark clouds disappeared completely, revealing the bright sun. The sun was bright today. The sky was clear today. One battle to decide the catacombs. Perhaps others thought so, but Fong Ping and the others knew that this was not a battle of the catacombs. This was a national war. It could even be said that this battle concerned the life and death of humanity. In this battle, 44 desperation powerhouses participated. No, more than that. Other holy lands and paragons also participated in the battle. In this battle, more than 50 paragons joined the battlefield, killing incessantly. True kings shed blood. With the conclusion of this battle, the Hua nation gained an important respite period. Before the spatial passageway was completely opened, there might not be any more battles between monarchs, and the monarchs would no longer care about the affairs of the outer realms. This battle had achieved the result that everyone wanted. With a smile on his face, Zhang Tao suddenly raised his arm, shouting, "Enter the territory! Kill the enemy! Today we will conquer the Magic City catacombs." Kill! The roar shook the sky. The crowd's emotions surged. Kill the enemy! Destroy the catacombs! In November, MCMAU was defeated. Magic City catacombs lost. At the end of December, MCMAU counterattacked. The war broke out, fighting with all the strength of the country, killing countless enemies. Now, it was already the final stage, killing the middle-ranked martial artists in the territory, completely destroying the Magic City catacombs' strong enemies. Tens of thousands of martial artists, blood boiling. After suffering for half a day, it was time for them to go into battle. How could martial artists become stronger if they did not enter the battlefield? If they did not become stronger, how could they protect the country, defeat the foreign strong enemies? Today, powerhouses shed blood, grandmaster powerhouses. Everyone returned bathed in blood. Everyone could only sit and wait. How torturous it was. Only by becoming stronger could they take the lead in the next war, killing the strong enemies. Everyone prepared to enter the territory. Fong Ping poked old Zhang, squinting his eyes. "Did you forget something?" Old Zhang's aura just now was very strong. That shout of "enter the domain" to kill the enemy was very satisfying. But you've forgotten that Hope City has been destroyed. Now that everyone has entered, they've all fallen into the Forbidden Sea. Zhang Tao glared at him. This bastard was ruining the atmosphere. How could I forget? How could I not remember? "I'm fine," he replied calmly. "It's fine." In the 7 southern regions, the old cat's head reappeared, its claws clutching the jiao, almost strangling it to death. Its face was full of anticipation. "Where's the cat food?" "Wait a minute. What flavor do you like? Also, do me a favor and bring the seawater back immediately to fill up Hope City. I'm counting on you, Brother Ash Cat." Old Zhang was impatient. Hurry up, someone is coming in." If he were to enter and fall into the Forbidden Sea, then that incomparably intense killing intent from before would instantly collapse. What a blunder! What a blunder! When he went back just now, he actually forgot, thinking that everyone was a top-notch powerhouse like them. Middle-ranked martial artists could perform flight step, but now everyone did not know that Hope City was gone. Some of the tens of thousands of people did not learn flight step. If they fell, they might really drown in the seawater. The old cat was a little gloomy, muttering, "Many flavors? Then give me a little of each. But if I fill up the Forbidden Sea, I won't be able to come here. It's fine. Now that the catacomb's true king has retreated, it's okay to expose some of my aura." "All right." The old cat did not say much. With a wave of its claws, the seawater flowed backward and began to return to the Forbidden Sea. Below Hope City, there was originally a huge crater. The old cat did not have the ability to create things out of thin air. After thinking for a while, its face suddenly flushed red, using its mentality to move something with some difficulty. In the blink of an eye, a tall mountain flew over from the sky, landing in the original crater with a loud rumble. The old cat muttered again, feeling more and more disadvantaged. He had done a lot of work today. Seeing that the mountain had landed, the old cat was still satisfied. It did not care anymore, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Before leaving, it said a little angrily, "If you call for me again and there's no cat food, I'll poke you." On the ground, old Zhang was calm and relaxed, breathing a sigh of relief. As for what everyone would think when they went out later and suddenly appeared on the mountain, it was none of his business. Fong Ping did not think much of it, nor did he care about him. At this moment, Fong Ping was also ready to enter. He was ready to go in and hold the fort. Strictly speaking, this battle was still MCMAU's battle. Suppressing the Magic City catacombs had always been MCMAU's dream. Now, it was the last step away from realizing it. He had to go in. The main force set out, and some of the pressure cannons were also pushed into the passageway. Fong Ping saw a large number of MCMAU instructors and students. Their vitality was boiling, eager to try, ready to complete the final blow of the Magic City battle. Destroy the Magic City catacombs. One school to hold the catacombs. No, destroy the catacombs. In this battle, no matter how much effort Zhang Tao and the rest put in, it was MCMAU who started the battle first. This was MCMAU's success. Of the 18-rank, 9 powerhouses in the Magic City catacombs, most of them were eliminated by MCMAU's own people. This was MCMAU's battle. One by one, the martial artists rushed into the catacombs, ready to annihilate the remaining enemies. On Fong Ping's side, Old Man Li and the rest also gathered. These people were ready to go in and hold the fort. Wu Quishan sighed, somewhat satisfied, and said with emotion, "I've only been in office for 2 years, and the Magic City catacombs have been destroyed. In the future, Wu, will have the face to leave a mark in the school's history." Everyone looked at him. How do you have the cheek to say something like this? In this battle, how many people have you killed? Don't you have any idea? How did you come to this stage? Don't you have any idea? Wu Quishan did not care about this. "I'm speaking the truth. I'm MCMAU's vice-chancellor. Not bad, right? I'm currently the strongest powerhouse in MCMAU. Not bad, right? As for Li Changshen being stronger than me, there's no such thing. If that's the case, of course, this battle will be on my head." "How can it be on your head?" Ignoring them, Wu Quishan smiled and said, "Everyone, let's go in together. The battle has come to this point. It's the final stage. Don't fail miserably." Beside him, Zhang Tao opened his mouth and said, "We'll go to MCMAU to recuperate. Fong Ping gets some imperishable substance. I'll repair their bodies." Fong Ping glanced at Wang Qinghai, who only had half a head left, and felt a little helpless. Without further ado, a large mass of imperishable substance appeared. This battle had really broken his fortune. In total, he had more than 1 billion wealth points. How much was left now? About 100 million points. He hoped that this time no one would fight him for battle credits and spoils of war. It was good that Jiao had been captured. At least he would not have to fool it. Fong Ping suddenly touched his chin. Jiao's life was not destined to enjoy the spoils of war. It was the same last time. When the battle was about to end, King Huai had chased it into the bounded domain. This time, it was even more pitiful. It had been captured by the cat. It was not that he did not want to share with it. Fang Ping shook his head. This fellow had been captured by the cat. He was also very helpless. Without further ado, Fang Ping entered the catacombs in the next moment. The others entered one after another. The great battle lasted until late at night. Magic City catacombs had 13 cities. A few cities had already been destroyed. The people in the other cities were panicking. Many martial artists had fled the cities, and many people were running around in the catacombs. Tens of thousands of majestic powerhouses had pushed the pressure cannons and energy cannons to attack the cities. The remaining cities had no one to command them. They could not form an alliance. They fought on their own and were destroyed one by one. The cities were destroyed one by one. A large number of middle-ranked martial artists were killed. MCMAU's high-ranked powerhouses used flight stance to hold the line. Those who encountered the catacombs' high ranks were killed on the spot without exception. This battle lasted until dawn on the 29th. The sounds of killing only gradually subsided. The Magic City catacombs had been completely breached. For the first time, humans had killed their way from the direction of Hope City to the direction of Imperial Sea Hills. The passageway of Imperial Sea Hills had been opened. Although humans wanted to destroy the catacombs this time, it was not to the point where everyone had to be killed. The passageway had been opened, allowing some martial artists to escape into the restricted area. On this day, the 2 restricted areas had been destroyed. The demons in the direction of Imperial Sea Hills lay dormant. No matter how loud the sounds of killing were, no beast roars could be heard from within Imperial Sea Hills. They were scared. The blood of the true kings dyed the sky blood red. The demons in Imperial Sea Hills also respected the 10,000 Demon King Court. In the end, even the 10,000 Demon King had escaped. How would these demons dare to show their faces? On this day, the demons in Mount Imperial Sea Hills of 7 southern regions fled in large numbers. They fled to other areas, even abandoning their homes. December 28, 2010. On this day, the pinnacle of Sino Nation's battle erupted. The most glorious battle, not only for Sino Nation, but also for humans in the past 1,000 years. On this day, 6 true kings and 129 rank, 9 powerhouses were killed. In the 7 southern regions, the number of rank 9 powerhouses who entered this time was as high as 139. In the end, Ji Yao's side had 6 rank 9 powerhouses who left 7 southern regions alive. In addition to the captive Phoenix, Gopher, Monster, Rat City Lord, and a rank 9 powerhouse who was under the command of a true king, there were a total of 10 rank 9 powerhouses who survived. Sino Nation's loss was that all of them were seriously injured, except for suppressing Heavenly King, and a few who did not participate in the battle. Almost all rank 9 powerhouses were injured too. It was the same for some of the rank 8 powerhouses who participated in the battle. However, what everyone did not expect was that among the human high-ranked powerhouses who died in the end, only one rank 8 powerhouse really died in the catacombs. This was also an unexpected thing that happened when Fang Ping and the others were entangled in the battle later on, and the rank 8 powerhouses assisted in the battle. Otherwise, there would be no high-ranked deaths in Sino Nation. A high-ranked killing rank 9 at the cost of a rank 8's death was in the triple digits. This battle was destined to be remembered by everyone. Both Chen Yaozu and Zhang Weiyu broke through to the Desperation Realm in this battle. Sino Nation had 2 more paragons, and their gains were greater than expected. Zhang Weiyu's breakthrough was expected. However, Chun Yaozu's breakthrough was something that no one expected, including Chun Yaozu himself. He did not think about it before he entered. In this battle within the 7 southern regions, the biggest contributor was actually not Fong Ping, but the cat. This cat was the biggest variable. It stabbed 12 rank 9s to death in one blow. In addition to the 2 who escaped earlier, one cat killed 14 rank 9s. This was the biggest variable that turned the situation on Li Deyong's side. These powerhouses that the cat killed casually actually saved dozens of Sino Nation rank 9s here. Otherwise, under the situation where there was a huge disparity in numbers, Li Deyong's side would not have been able to kill strong enemies so easily. Of course, the demons in the boundaries had also suffered a lot of losses. 2 rank 9 demons were missing. As for where they went, Fong Ping felt that he should have guessed it. 9 out of 10, they had entered the cat's stomach. December 29th, noon. The great battle was completely over. Magic City Catacombs was pacified. It had been 61 years since the Magic City Catacombs passageway opened in 49 years. Magic City Catacombs became the second catacombs to be pacified, but it was the catacombs with the most glorious battle record. None of the catacombs' rank 9s escaped, unlike the Forbidden Catacombs. Although it was also pacified, at the end of the battle, many rank 9 powerhouses and a large number of high ranks voluntarily retreated and left the Forbidden Catacombs. This time, 26 rank 9s in 13 cities, other than those who were captured, were all killed. McMao. At this moment, everyone in the huge guest hall was filled with excitement and exhaustion. They were utterly exhausted. Many of the desperation powerhouses had left. More than half of Star Town's apex powerhouses had gone back. Warlord did not leave. Chun Yaozu did not leave either. Shen Haotian, who was the most heavily injured, did not leave either. The others, on the other hand, had all returned to Star Town. Fong Ping and the others were the last to enter the hall. As soon as he entered, Fong Ping did not bother to greet the others. He sat down on a chair, crushing it directly. He did not care about this. Fong Ping simply sat on the floor, pressing down so hard that the hall trembled. We won. Fong Ping did not know if he was excited or tired. At this moment, he just wanted to sleep. He was very tired and exhausted from this battle. He had self-detonated his mentality many times, almost crushing himself. He was also deeply worried about the late-stage Apex battle. Fortunately, they had won in the end. Zhang Tao was also exhausted. Seeing this, he laughed and said, "Are you satisfied this time? Kid, because of your own selfishness, Sino Nation was almost destroyed. I'm ready to give up on Sino Nation. Tell me, how should we settle this score?" Fong Ping rolled his eyes wildly. "You came to me for this? You were the one who insisted on doing this. If it weren't for you, would I need to be beaten up like this?" If old Zhang had not prepared to start the Apex battle, Fong Ping would have stopped after eliminating the more than 10 rank 9s in Magic City Catacombs. He would not have continued to fight. "Your Majesty," as soon as Fong Ping said this, Zhang Tao's expression darkened. He humphed and said, "Cut the crap. How can you believe that cat's words? If you didn't mention it, I almost forgot. Get someone to buy a few dozen bags of cat food and send them in. It's not just a few dozen bags. After killing King Pine, it asked for another 100 bags. Fong Ping laughed. "I'll send them later. It's a good opportunity to get closer to this cat. There are too many good things. That fishing rod is terrifyingly powerful." Zhang Tao nodded slightly and said in a low voice, "You have to pay more attention to this cat." Fong Ping looked at Warlord again and said with a smile, "It said it remembers you. Many years ago, you brushed its fur and said it lived a long life after touching it." Warlord's expression stiffened. He humped softly and said nothing. Brush your ass. How could that be? I'm a dignified desperation top-notch powerhouse. I've killed as many as 3 true kings. How could I brush a cat's fur? Don't talk nonsense. Right, your old tortoise shell seems to be the shell it left behind after eating the big tortoise. Shut up, Warlord scolded, his face full of dissatisfaction. Then he coughed softly and said, That, when you go in later and see it, try to get some information and ask about the situation. I don't know what's going on with this cat. It came out of the bounded zone at this time. The timing is a little too coincidental. Zhang Tao nodded slightly too. That's right. Actually, when Elvision came out, he brought back some information. I thought, maybe we're going to meet Gong Juanzi or the cat. In the end, it wasn't Gong Juanzi who came out, but the cat. Elvision also said that it was the cat that brought him in. We can't really treat it as a coincidence. Maybe this cat is also plotting something. It's a cat that has lived for God knows how many years. Don't be fooled by its stupidity. We're fine. Fang Ping, be careful. It'll kill you with one slap of its tail. You have to figure out how to communicate, Zhang Tao said, then said, Let's not talk about anything else today. Everyone is tired. Those who should rest, rest. Those who should heal, heal. We'll talk about the post-war matters in a few days. I've gathered all of you here to tell you something. Zhang Tao's expression was slightly solemn. He said, a desperate realm powerhouse was killed in the Andes, and a paragon was also killed in Totem City. This time, Sino Nation killed 6 true kings, but the other party also killed 2 human desperate realm powerhouses. Warlord sighed softly. Although we don't communicate much with them, we know each other. The Andes and Totem City defend the North region together. This time, 2 paragons were killed. The strength of the 2 holy lands is also greatly damaged. They don't have many paragons to begin with, and they don't have a paragon holding the fort. This time, they were ambushed by the Sky Plant's royal court's true kings. They were outnumbered, and in the end, 2 of them died in battle. If it wasn't for us defeating the other party in the South region and killing many true kings, and the opening of the King Battleground, I'm afraid the North region would be in big trouble. Among the catacombs North, South, East, and West regions, the South region was mainly defended by Sino Nation. The God's Paradise defended the West region, the ancient Buddha Holy Land as the main force in the East region, and the Wanta World also defended the East region and a part of the catacombs in the North region. This time, the North region was ambushed, and both Holy Lands lost a desperate realm powerhouse. This was also a huge loss. Zhang Tao continued, the North region was originally not the main target. The catacombs target was actually Sino Nation most of the time. This time, the sudden ambush on the North region was probably Li Zhu's idea. This fellow can't be underestimated. If there's a chance next time, we can have a good fight with him, Zhang Tao said, then said, also, after this battle, the number of Sino Nation's paragons has reached 17. The Battle of the Paragons probably won't break out in the near future. We can take this opportunity to take a break and do something else. Fang Ping looked puzzled. Why are you telling us all this? Zhang Tao seemed to know what he was going to ask. He smiled and said, what I mean is to make some personnel changes. In the military department, Li Daong and a few others can still manage and hold on for a while. In the education department, Beigong Yen has to lead the Wuan army. Under normal circumstances, Xie Yifan won't be in charge. Fang Ping's gaze flickered. He said, it's not appropriate for me to be the minister, right? Everyone quietened down. Zhang Tao's expression darkened. After a while, he said with a faint smile, You're far from it now. What I mean is for Wu Quishan to be in charge of the education department for a while. During this period, we won't be able to manage other things. The education department is also the main fighting organization. It won't do if they're weak. The other rank 9s either have been guarding the catacombs for many years, or they're purely focused on combat strength. Wu Quishan has been in MCMAU for many years. He's familiar with the education department. Let him be in charge for a while. Wang Qinghai could have done it before. Too bad, Zhang Tao sighed. Wang Qinghai's body had recovered, but his mentality had entered a dormant state. This weak rank 9 powerhouse had participated in a large-scale rank 9 battle for the first time. In the end, he was heavily injured repeatedly. He was really unlucky. Zhang Tao did not continue. He said, Wu Quishan is going to the education department. You're not qualified to be the vice-chancellor either. At least not now. You can continue to lead MCMAU's matters. However, I advise you to focus on closed-door cultivation for now. In MCMAU, I think it's not a bad idea to let Guo Shengquan and the others manage the daily affairs. They've just entered the origin path. For now, improving combat strength is not the main priority. As Zhang Tao spoke, Nan Yunhua said in a low voice, FMS might have to integrate with MCMAU. Vice-Chancellor Nan, I'm afraid he can't be in charge now. You can contact Yao Qingjun. Nan Yunping was her sister. However, this time, she was seriously injured. Nan Yunping, who had just entered rank 9, was in a similar state as Wang Qinghai. If Nan Yunhua had not thought of a way to maintain her injuries, Nan Yunping might have been on the list of people who had died this time. Fang Ping felt a little embarrassed for a moment. He suddenly remembered Jiang Chao's letter. Nan Yunping had almost died this time. It was only by a thin line. A few top-notch powerhouses valued MCMAU very much at this time. There were too many powerhouses in MCMAU. This battle had also destroyed the Magic City catacombs. There might be another batch of powerhouses emerging next. In this era of war, MCMAU was so powerful that it deserved to be valued. Zhang Tao said again, I'll arrange for people to handle matters after the war. Also, don't go to the bounded boundaries that I asked you to go. I have a rough idea of these old guys' attitudes. Also, didn't Wang Jinyang say that Purple Cap Mountain has some influence on him? This matter can wait. We'll deal with it when we're back. If it's possible, bring Song Mao to Purple Cap Mountain. Maybe you can let Song Mao meet Wang Jinyang in advance. There might be unexpected gains. Minister, where are you going? Fang Ping asked, a little puzzled. The war had just ended. These people had not recovered from their injuries. If they were to leave now, where would they go? Zhang Tao laughed. You don't have to worry about this. It has nothing to do with you, for now. If there's an emergency, you can use the avatar that I left behind. It's just a little bit of mentality left. It's not much. You can inform me, and I'll rush back. Also, the matter of the King battleground probably won't start now. Maple King and the others are injured badly. They'll delay it, so there's no need to rush. Don't contact them without permission. These people are not kind. If they kill you, you won't be able to reason with them. That's all for now. We have to go now. Oh, right. Zhang Tao stood up and said suddenly, how much imperishable substance do you have left? Give me some. We still need to bring Wang Qinghai and the others to ensure that their injuries don't worsen. We can't do without imperishable substance. Fang Ping was helpless. More? He really had no more. He only had about 100 million wealth points now. If he gave more, he would be completely bankrupt. The House of Gold had been blown up and had not been repaired yet. However, Wang Qinghai and the others were indeed injured too badly. Fang Ping was helpless. He condensed another 5,000 yuan of imperishable substance, leaving only 50 million wealth points for himself. This time, he had breached Magic City's catacombs. He could more or less gain something. Since old Zhang and the others wanted to leave, it was still up to him. He would be the one to decide how to distribute it next. That was good too. As for what the peerless powerhouses were going to do, Fong Ping was too lazy to guess. They were being so secretive. Who knew if they had some conspiracy or were preparing to scam people? Zhang Tao saw that he had condensed so much and did not say much. This brat had lost a lot this time. He was probably really out of it. Forget it. He would come back later to reap the rewards. He had been beaten up until he vomited 3 liters of blood. Whether Fong Ping admitted it or not, he would blame it on Fong Ping. After thinking for a while, Zhang Tao finally said, "I left my ultimate origin technique and Li Zhen's void-piercing swordsmanship in MCMAU's combat technique room. Take a look at them when you have time. Don't just F***king self-destruct. If you self-destruct again, you'll be finished sooner or later. As for the few rank 9s who were captured, I have also sealed part of their abilities and asked someone to watch over them. If they make any strange moves, kill them immediately." After throwing these words, Zhang Tao took a step and was about to leave. Fong Ping wanted to say something, but stopped. Zhang Tao said without turning his head, "Walk your own path. In this world, you can rely on others for a while, but you can't walk for a lifetime. Remember, don't forget your own heart. Don't walk out of the origin path recklessly." "Got it," Fong Ping responded, but he was a little hesitant. Zhang Tao seemed to have seen it. As he walked, he said, "If you have something to say, just say it." "That. Minister, do you accept a godson?" At this moment, old Zhang's footsteps were slightly staggering. Nan, Yunyue, and the others looked at each other, almost bursting out in laughter. Was this bastard brat talking about himself? Was he forcing himself to get close to Zhang Tao after seeing how powerful he was? You can look for that cat and become sworn brothers. Old Zhang scolded. Without turning his head, he took off into the sky. "Accept my SS godson? Have some face." At the end of December, the war ended. Zhang Tao and the other peerless powerhouses left, their whereabouts unknown. Wu Quishan entered the Ministry of Education and began to take charge. Chapter 848. Conquering 7 southern territories, True King retreated. This time, Sino Nation took over the entire 7 southern territories. Unlike the Forbidden Catacombs, where King Huai took away all the mineral veins when he retreated, in the blink of an eye, it was January 1st, 2011. After 3 days of counting, there was a rough calculation of the harvest this time. MCMAU Conference Hall. At this moment, almost all the high-ranked powerhouses had arrived. A few rank 6 martial artists in charge of counting affairs had also arrived. Zhang Yu was all smiles. He picked up the folder and said with a smile, "Let's talk about the battle damage first." Vice-Chancellor Wu, the rank 9 divine weapon was broken. Old Wu was still here. He was in charge of the Education Ministry, but he did not go to Capital City. Currently, Magic City was the Education Ministry's main priority. He was still in MCMAU. Hearing that Zhang Yu was the first to mention him, Wu Quishan's expression was unfriendly. So, what if a divine weapon was broken? He had been hurt time and time again, and now he was talking about it. How could he, the acting minister, keep his face? Old Wu cursed in his heart. Isn't it just 3 rank 9 divine weapons broken? I've also killed many rank 9 martial artists. It's all worth it. Young people nowadays are really annoying. Zhang Yu ignored him. He was a junior. Currently, the university's higher-ups were not doing anything serious. He was the only one in charge of these affairs. He continued. Also, this time, we used the pressure cannon and the energy cannon. The university's remaining 1,700 caddies of energy stones were almost used up. When Dean Chun and the others fought, they took away all the university's remaining life essence to replenish their consumption. It's also used up. In the later stages of the battle, the Wuhan military and the teachers and students from various schools participated in the battle. Some of the pills and weapons in MCMU's storage were also distributed. Zhang Yu was still smiling as he said, "So, after this battle, MCMU is bankrupt. Completely bankrupt. The storeroom is empty now. Rats can run away." It's not just the storeroom. In order to improve everyone's strength, we dug the underground mineral veins. Now, it's also used up. MCMAU is no longer a cultivation, holy land. Now, all the teachers and students in the university are penniless. After the battle, not only did Fangping go bankrupt, but the entire MCMU's savings over the years and all the resources that Fangping had scooped up before were all used up. It could be said that if there were no gains from this battle, the entire MCMAU would enter a period of bankruptcy. However, everyone did not care too much. This time, MCMAU was the main force in conquering the 7 southern regions. In terms of the distribution of the spoils of war, MCMAU was also in charge. In addition, Senior Chen 7, Commander Li Daong, Commander Tian Mu, Minister Wang Qinghai, Headmaster Nan Yunping, Senior Zheng Tao, Senior Kong Lingyuan. Many 9th grade experts' divine weapons have been broken. Guard Zhang and Chen Yaozu's divine weapons have also been broken. However, they have entered the summit and no longer need to use 9th grade divine weapons. Zhang Yu's words made everyone feel somewhat helpless. Not many people died in this battle, but too many divine weapons were broken, and too many resources were consumed. In this battle, a total of 10 9th grade divine weapons were destroyed. These seniors' divine weapons have been destroyed, but Senior Chin 7 has a backup in Startown. As for the others, we need to provide them. This is also the price MCMAU has to pay for taking over Magic City's catacombs. Zhang Yu continued, "Of course, Minister Wang and the others are now seriously injured and unconscious, so we don't have to worry about this for now." Fang Ping said impatiently, "Cut the crap. Tell me what you got." MCMAU and he were both bankrupt. Would it not be too provocative to talk about these battle losses at this time? Who would still care about the battle losses? Zhang Yu laughed and said, "This time, we broke into Magic City's catacombs and took down 9 cities. Out of the 13 cities in the catacombs, 4 of them, including Demon City, were completely annihilated. These 4 cities, we got nothing. As for the other 9 cities, we seized 9 mineral veins, which is considered complete. Other than that, the 2 big demon clans' forbidden lands seized even more, with 9 mineral veins harvested. Therefore, the big prize this time is the energy stones. We seized 18 mineral veins in total, and they are all huge mines. Although there is consumption, the reserves are still shocking. We haven't excavated them yet. Based on a rough calculation, when converted into rank 9 energy stones, there are about 400 tons. Tons? 400 tons? On average, a mineral vein converted into rank 9 energy stones was about 20 tons. It sounded like a lot, but in reality, a mineral vein was only slightly more than 40,000 caddies. However, this was converted into rank 9 energy stones. The mineral veins in the outer realm of the catacombs were not as pure as those in the Imperial City, where almost all the energy stones were high-ranked. On the other hand, the mineral veins in the outer realm contained a large number of middle-ranked and low-ranked energy stones. More than 40,000 caddies was not a small amount, back when they conquered Sky Gate City. Although Old Zhang dug a mineral vein of 50 tons, There were also a large number of impurities and energy crystals in it. 400 tons. Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Since when were rank 9 energy stones calculated in grams now calculated in tons? Moreover, it was a few hundred tons at once. While they were calculating this, Fong Ping was calculating money. Could it be inflation? In the past, the system had calculated 300 million wealth points per caddy of energy stones. A ton was worth 600 billion. Even if converted into wealth points, a ton would be 60 million points. 24 billion wealth points. Fong Ping swallowed. Sure enough, making money from war was the most awesome. After conquering the entire outer realm, the value of the energy stones alone had reached 24 billion points, and this did not include the small mineral veins in the catacombs. The energy stones are the biggest harvest, and the other is a large number of heavenly and earthly treasures. Energy fruits, like 100 honing fruits, are in the hundreds. Medicinal herbs to make pills in large quantities, weapons, metals, armor. Zhang Yu's mouth was dry from all the talking. He continued, if these things are calculated according to the official price, the total value is probably more than 100 trillion. Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. Another 10 billion wealth points. But this time, Zhang Yu was distressed. I didn't see a single rank 9 demon corpse. Not a single one of them, be it monster plants or monsters. Some were swallowed by Jiao and the other demons, some self-destructed, and some cough disappeared. Fong Ping laughed. Forget it. That cat has already eaten them. Don't look for them. This time, the number of rank 9 demons that died in battle was not small. There were 10 rank 9 demons in the 2 forbidden lands, not to mention the cities. Including the bounded boundaries, 2 monsters had died in battle. In the end, Fong Ping and the others could not find a single hair. Zhang Yu did not know whether to laugh or cry. The others were shaking their heads. No one cared too much. The old cat contributed a lot this time. Even a true king was stabbed to death. What else could they say after eating a few demon corpses? However, we also gained a lot from the rank 7 and 8 demon corpses. In total, there are 141 rank 7 demon corpses and 42 rank 8 demon corpses. However, some of them are broken. After calculating, the value is as high as 2 trillion. Zhang Yu laughed. These are the main gains. They are all useful to martial artists. The other spoils of war are countless. The catacombs' various decorations, luxury goods, a large number of books. After conquering a catacombs, we have everything. There are too many things to count for now. Moreover, there are tens of millions of catacombs humans in the catacombs. Although many have died and escaped, there are still tens of millions of people in the Magic City catacombs. Right now, it's chaos everywhere. It's not convenient for us to count these things for now. We don't have enough manpower. Right now, we are mainly guarding the mineral veins and some medicinal herb production points. Other than some powerhouses' mansions being guarded, we don't care about other places. MCMAU did not have enough manpower. Even if the Wuan Army and the Fallen Star Army had started to deploy troops, it was still not enough. Guarding an entire catacombs was not something that could be done with tens of thousands of people. They also had to prevent some martial artists from causing trouble. The team could not be too scattered. Fong Ping did not care too much about this. He looked at Wu Quishan and said, Vice Chancellor. No, Minister Wu, how do you think we should distribute the spoils of war this time? Wu Quishan glanced at him and said impatiently, You can't wait for me to step down, can you? Don't forget, I'm still the Vice Chancellor now. I'm only in charge of the Education Ministry's affairs. This kid could not wait to get out of here. Did he have a conscience? Too lazy to say anything else, Wu Quishan said quickly, According to what Minister Zhang said before he left, Magic City Catacombs still needs to be under our control. We can't dig all the mineral veins. Magic City Catacombs might be more important than the Forbidden Catacombs in the future. As for the distribution of the spoils of war, although MCMAU is in charge this time, there are too many powerhouses participating in the battle, including powerhouses from the 5 Holy Lands. Although it's already the later stage when we entered, we still have to show something. Fang Ping's eyebrows twitched as he listened. He said calmly, "Vice Chancellor, you're from MCMAU." "I'm the Vice Chancellor now," Wu Quishan scolded. "Motherf asterisk her. I'm the Vice Chancellor when needed. When not needed, I'm the Minister." In terms of the spoils of war, MCMAU can only get 50% at most. Wu Quishan said in a low voice. "Fang Ping, 50% is actually too much." This time, Star City also suffered heavy losses. Many powerhouses participated in the battle, and some powerhouses almost died. There are powerhouses from the 3 departments and 4 prefectures. We can't just consider MCMAU. The 3 departments and 4 prefectures also need to distribute resources. Shen Haotian and Chen Yaozu could represent the East and North Guardian Mansions. Zhang Weiyu and Wu Chuan, on the other hand, represented the West and South Guardian Mansions. Among the 7 leaders of the 3 departments and 4 prefectures, Nan Yunyue stayed behind. The others all participated in the battle. This was a national war. Wu Quishan would not really let MCMAU take everything. After MCMU distributes 50%, all other expenses will be paid by MCMAU. This includes some powerhouses' healing needs, the 5 Holy Lands return gifts, some damaged divine weapons compensation for the families of those who died in the battle. All of these will be borne by MCMAU. Fang Ping nodded slightly and smiled. "This is not a problem. The Vice Chancellor is still on our side. If old Zhang was here, MCMAU getting 30% is already an overestimation." Wu Quishan laughed and said, "Don't talk nonsense. I'm warning you, this is the unanimous opinion of the Education Ministry's ministers, not mine. In addition, many martial arts universities have also participated in the battle this time. MCMAU also needs to bear the expenses. Also, Fang Ping, the demons in the boundary zone can't be so stingy. Forget it once. This time, there are many demons participating in the boundary zone war. They conquered the 10,000 ants desert alone. There are also several mineral veins in the 10,000 ants desert. They lost almost 100 demons in the battle. Although Sino Nation doesn't want these demons to become stronger, we have to pay the price. Distinguishing between public and private interests is the foundation of humanity's strength." Fang Ping smiled bitterly. "In that case, we still have to share some things with the demons." "That's right. At least 2 mineral veins." Wu Quishan nodded. This needed to be paid. In the boundary zone, 2 rank 9 demons had died in battle. More than half of the rank 7 and 8 demons were lost. This could not be ignored. Fang Ping took a deep breath and said, "Based on this calculation, how much can MCMU get?" Beside him, Zhang Yu immediately said, "According to this calculation, the total value of the spoils we have seized now is about 350 trillion. 350 trillion. The 3 departments and 4 prefectures will split half first, 175 trillion. We need to pay for the boundary zone about 30 trillion. There are also many people participating in the battle in Star Town this time. At least 1 mineral vein should be given to them, about 15 trillion. The healing needs of the powerhouses, the distribution of some resources, including the additional expenses for the broken divine weapons, at least about 5 trillion. There are many martial arts universities participating in the battle. In total, we need to prepare 3 trillion. After the war, the 5 big holy lands will need to prepare at least 1 trillion. As for the miscellaneous expenses, we need to prepare at least about 1 trillion. After calculating, we need at least 230 trillion. We can leave 120 trillion resources. However, we have the first choice and can choose what we need. When Zhang Yu said this, he could not hide the smile on his face. 120 trillion, although they had seized too many energy stones this time. If they were to flow out, it would probably lead to inflation, and the value of energy stones would decline. Perhaps source stones were martial arts resources that everyone needed. Among martial artists, there were not many who traded energy stones. Although a few hundred tons was not a lot, there were as many as 4 million martial artists in Sino Nation now. If everyone used energy stones to cultivate, on average, each person would only get 200 grams. Of course, there was almost no problem of equal distribution. In this era, the strong were respected. It was necessary to make the strong stronger, mainly for the strong to use for cultivation. 120 trillion. Fang Ping was a little helpless. He coughed softly and said that MCMAU has allocated so much, but MCMAU is a school after all. I can't take it all. Everyone looked at him. What did you mean by saying this? Were you going to take it all for yourself? Wu Quishan glanced at him and suddenly laughed. Before the minister left, he also explained that you can have priority in personal supply. However, there are some things that everyone understands. We can't be too biased. After all, this is a national war. There are tens of thousands of MCMAU instructors and students. If we really give it all to you, even if you take it out later, it will give people a different feeling. It's not fair. Fairness is also an important point for Sino Nation to become stronger and stronger. Fang Ping, you should be able to understand what I mean. Old Zhang could judge some of Fang Ping's abnormalities. Perhaps Fang Ping needed new resources to stimulate some things. However, Sino Nation was so big. There were countless powerhouses in MCMAU alone. If they were all given to Fang Ping, and Fang Ping took it out later, he still had to say that he lent it to others. How would the others feel? Who did not contribute in the war? Fang Ping, you did contribute a lot, but the victory of this war was not solely due to your own efforts. This time, the peerless powerhouses almost did not ask for any spoils of war. The 3 departments and 4 residences added up would only be slightly more than MCMAU. This was already the compromise that Zhang Tao and the others had made to satisfy Fang Ping's needs. Fang Ping smiled and said, "Then, Vice Chancellor, what you mean is you will take 50% of MCMAU's. 30% will be MCMAU's strategic reserve. The remaining 20% will be distributed. One person, half of MCMAU's. The value was as high as 60 trillion. It was equivalent to more than 1/6 of the total harvest this time. There were dozens of rank 9s who participated in the war and more than 10 peerless powerhouses. Fang Ping alone took so much. If the plan was spread out, even if people knew that he had contributed greatly, he might still attract a lot of criticism." Wu Quishan thought for a while and added, "These that you're distributing are the sum of my Chongqings and the other spoils of war. We won't do private distribution anymore." Fang Ping felt slightly regretful, but he also knew that people like Old Zhang and Old Wu were in a difficult position. Upon hearing that, he nodded slightly and said, "All right, I have no objections." After he said that, beside him, Qin Fengqing said with a face full of envy, "I say, Fang Ping, you're sharing 60 trillion alone. Why do I feel like you're reluctant? Why don't you share some with me?" Fang Ping glanced at him and sneered. "You? How many rank 9s did you kill this time? What contributions did you make in the war? How many rank 7s did you kill? Stop talking nonsense and distribute as usual. This time, I won't give you a cent more. Qin Fengqin said, helplessly. Can you blame me for this? I was already prepared to go on a killing spree. In the end, you guys were all rank 9s fighting, and then it was a battle between the absolute powerhouses. When we went in, there were a lot of rank 7 and 8 martial artists fighting for our heads. There were only so many rank 7 and 8 martial artists. How could I kill them? He was wronged. He was prepared to go on a killing spree. Previously, Fang Ping had given him a lot of resources. Now, he was only one step away from upper stage rank 7. He was afraid that it would not be long. In the end, when they went in, there were not many high-ranked martial artists in sight. Fang Ping could not be bothered to say anything. He began to calculate in his heart 60 trillion, 6 billion wealth points. Before the war, all his assets were only slightly more than 1 billion points. Now, after the war, not only did he not suffer any losses, but he had also earned a few times more. He was rich. Now, he had money to repair the Golden House. Not only the Golden House, but perhaps this time, he could also fill up the entire city. Please don't depreciate. Fang Ping prayed in his heart. Right now, he was afraid that the energy stones would depreciate. That would be troublesome. As for the system upgrade, he was not too concerned about it now. He had not used the origin path's function much. Even if he upgraded it now, it might be a higher level ability which was useless to him. If this was related to the ability after he reached the peak, even if he upgraded it, it would be a wasted upgrade. The most important thing is, I don't even dare to upgrade now. Fang Ping felt slightly gloomy. Perhaps he needed to have a good chat with the cat. Would there be any future trouble? Not thinking about this anymore, Fang Ping said quickly, then let's arrange it this way. During this period, everyone is tired. After the post-war matters are settled, everyone can rest. Strike a balance between work and rest, the cultivation effect will be better. Senior Zhang is also at the Mentality Vitality Unity realm. This time, he will strive to enter rank 7. Some things can be handed over to others. Zhang Yu nodded. Beside him, Wu Quishan said, there are 5,000 Wuan soldiers here in MCMAU. Fang Ping. These 5,000 Wuan soldiers, should we transfer them or keep them to guard the Magic City catacombs? Right now, the Magic City catacombs is still a little chaotic. Most of the MCMAU students are now in a golden cultivation period. They may not have the time to guard the catacombs. What I mean is, it's better for these people to stay. If they stay, then MCMAU needs to treat them well. These soldiers, who have been through hundreds of battles, are the elites of the Sino Nation military martial artists. Fang Ping nodded slightly. Stay. The 9 intact cities now need to be guarded to prevent the catacombs' martial artists from causing trouble. On MCMAU's side, try your best to gather 4,000 people and form a new army with 9,000 people to guard the 9 cities. Since the Magic City catacombs has been conquered, then we should manage it well and make the Magic City catacombs our backline. I've thought about it. We'll build a cat palace. We'll build it on the original site of Hope City. Let the cat dig out a tributary of the Forbidden Sea and build the cat palace on it. Fang Ping smiled slyly. With the cat, the Magic City catacombs is the safest catacombs. Even if a true king enters, unless it's like the Myriad Demon King, 2 or 3 of them will not be a problem. Oh, right, about the cat food. Don't use normal food to fool me. Don't worry about the ingredients either. There's only one requirement. It must taste good. Whatever food additives and whatnot, as long as it tastes good, put them in. It won't kill that cat anyway. It just wants to taste good. It has even eaten absolute peak monsters before. Why would it care about the amount of energy? There's only one requirement. It just needs to be super delicious. Everyone burst out laughing. This fellow was indeed black-hearted. But then again, to be able to poison that cat to death was truly incredible. Something that could poison an absolute peak monster to death would probably be snatched away by the absolute peak monsters. That was the real treasure. Just as Fong Ping was saying this, 7 Southern Territory, in the bounded zone, the cat suddenly sneezed. Its face was full of shock. Someone wanted to harm this cat. How dare they? The one who harmed this cat was stabbed to death. Who was it? Did they have a death wish? The Jiao, who was pinned to the ground by its paws, had a look of despair and pessimism. What was this cat doing? Was it going crazy again? The Jiao was still thinking. In the next second, the big cat smacked its nose with its tail and muttered, "You're so annoying. Scheming against this cat. You'll die sooner or later. Big dog. No, puppy, what breed are you? Where did Big Dog go back then?" The Jiao and the big dog looked a little different. The cat analyzed it for a long time, but could not figure out what kind of creature the Jiao was from. The Jiao's face was full of despair. "I'm not a dog. You've got the wrong monster." It wanted to get close to a real king as a backer, but this big cat kept whipping it with its tail. It had had enough. Days without freedom were terrible. The cat could not care less. It said, "Puppy, you're so weak. I'll be merciful and bring you fishing. After eating, you can become stronger." The Jiao's eyes lit up. Fishing? Fishing for a real king? No problem. What was a little humiliation? So what if it had no freedom? This cat wanted to go fishing. It was looking forward to it. If you said it was a dog, then it was a dog. The next moment, the Jiao nodded its head and whimpered. "A dog is a dog. When I become a real king, I'll deal with you, cat." The cat looked at it for a while and muttered, "Bad dog. You're just like Big Dog. You don't have any good intentions. Don't think about taking revenge on me, or else you'll be poked to death sooner or later. This stupid puppy wants revenge. Doesn't it know that I'm not afraid of that?" The Jiao was shocked. "You know what I'm thinking?" While the cat was lecturing the Jiao, inside the domain land, separated by a thin line, Gong Juanzi's illusory figure floated above the lake of eternal destruction. He looked out and murmured, "The cat seeks advantages and avoids disadvantages." This time, it left the grotto heaven and did not return. It probably means that the grotto heaven is no longer safe. In this era of great competition, I might have to take the initiative to fight for a chance of survival. That cat was really not coming back. With the cat's lazy personality, if possible, it might sleep inside the grotto heaven for the rest of its life. But this time, it did not come back. Perhaps it really meant that chaos was coming, and it was no longer safe to follow him. This old man, will I really die this time? Gong Juanzi looked up at the sky, somewhat at a loss. The cat had left. Once it left, he was afraid that he would also be in danger. This cat's abilities were not to be mentioned, but its premonition of danger was really strong. Seeking advantages and avoiding disadvantages was this cat's greatest ability. As for its combat strength, that was secondary. Gong Juanzi smiled faintly. He lowered his head and looked around. Perhaps he would really die. That's good. After thousands of years, he was also tired of living. If I can't become an emperor, then let this old man die. The world had changed, and everything had changed. Were those old friends of his still well? Perhaps they would be able to meet again soon. At this moment, Gong Juanzi's illusory figure floated down and suddenly disappeared into the lake of eternal destruction. It was time to prepare for recovery. The great chaos was coming, and it was almost time to come out. 9 Heavens, Divine Emperor. Chapter 849. McMao. The post-battle inventory had a general result, and the distribution plan had also been determined. However, the wealth points had not arrived yet. Fong Ping guessed that it was probably because the things were not in his hands yet, so he was not in a hurry. After the war, there were many things to be done. However, Fong Ping did not have time to care about these things now, including the cat's cat food. These had to be arranged later. He had gained a lot from this war, battling the Origin powerhouse, especially when he fought with the Fist powerhouse. Fong Ping did not use his cheat then. If he fought with the other party alone, he would still be slightly better. After the battle, he gained a lot. In the cultivation room, Fong Ping checked his system's data. Wealth, 48 million points vitality, 119,600 calories, 119,800 calories, mentality, 1,055 hertz, 7,999 hertz, destruction power, 60 yuan, storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus, energy shield, 1 point/minute plus, aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus, origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/time, close to rank, 8 forging golden body. Fong Ping could judge his own strength. He was now at peak 7 forging golden body, and his peak strength was 120,000 calories vitality. For a martial artist like him, the difference of 1 or 200 cal was already negligible. However, soon, Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. The upper limit of his mentality was high, but his mentality was injured and had not recovered until now. Self-destruction is really troublesome. Fong Ping took a deep breath. He could not self-destruct anymore. The Golden City plan had been delayed again and again because of mentality self-destruction. The Golden House kept collapsing, and there was no time and opportunity to make it into a Golden House. Break through to rank 8 forging first. Then I'll think about other things slowly. Old man Li was also in closed-door cultivation. This old man had gained a lot this time. He had not used up the imperishable substance that Fong Ping had given him previously. This closed-door cultivation was probably also to break through to rank 8 forging. Old man Li's vitality is more than 120,000 calories at rank 8 forging. If he reaches peak 8 forging, 140,000 calories vitality, double the others, reaching 280,000 calories vitality strength. This old man, hateful. Fong Ping suddenly cursed under his breath. He was not happy. The old man had not broken through and had been staying at rank 8. He was also staying at rank 8. In the end, he was fated to be number 2 on the rank 8 ranking list forever. You win. However, after I've absorbed and digested the spoils of battle, I'll go back and learn old Zhang and Li Zhen's absolute secret arts. Then I'll increase my power control and see who's stronger between the two of us. Fong Ping hummed and groaned. Old man Li was strong, but he had a flaw. He did not have destructive energy. He could only rely on the strength of his vitality. This might also be a form of balance. There was still a limit to the unification of all Daos. Normal martial artists all had the power of destruction. Moreover, their strength was even higher than vitality. An ordinary rank 8 martial artist destructive force could reach 30 to 40 yuan at its peak, which was equivalent to a vitality strength of 200,000 calories. When they reached rank 9, they did not advance through Golden Body 7th refinement. Under normal circumstances, many of them could also achieve 50 yuan of destruction power, which was equivalent to 250,000 calories of vitality. However, the imperishable substance could hardly be recovered. As for level 9 experts, as long as there was energy, they could recover the force of qi and blood in the blink of an eye. Thus, Only at the true final stage would a martial artist use the imperishable substance to fight. Furthermore, it was the kind that could only be used once. After fighting for a while, the imperishable substance would be used up, and there would be almost nothing left. Oh, right, the mentality cultivation method that old Zhang took from Dean Liu last time hasn't been passed down. Have you forgotten? Fang Ping frowned slightly. Then, he remembered that old Zhang said there were some flaws. It was probably not suitable to be passed down yet. Forget it. I can't use it for now, anyway. At this moment, his mentality was almost at 8,000 hertz. It was enough for him to achieve golden body 8th refinement. Fang Ping did not care about this anymore. He began to condense the imperishable substance and began to forge his flesh. With each forging, his golden body became a little tighter. At this stage, his golden body was much heavier than the average golden body powerhouse. Fang Ping, now, was probably 20 to 30,000 caddies. If he did not control himself and let himself fall from the sky, it would not be difficult at all for him to smash a building. Golden body 8th refinement. After 8th refinement, what does a golden body 9th refinement look like? It seemed like no one had achieved golden body 9th refinement before. Even for martial artists who had achieved myriad Tao unification, the legends said that they could reach this stage might not be true. The golden body 9 refinement technique that he obtained in the Shwanda Grotto Heaven last time was a cultivation technique for ordinary physical martial artists. Although the golden body 9 refinement technique was said to be 9 refinements, in fact, the upper limit was usually only 7 refinements. To be able to complete 7 refinements of the golden body was already a sign of a physical cultivation powerhouse. A golden body 7th refinement's vitality was 30,000 cal higher than those golden body 6th refinements' beginner vitality. In the future, when they entered the origin path and increased, the gap would be too big. Golden body 8th refinement. Fang Ping settled his mind, closed his eyes, and began to hone his body. On this day, Li Changsheng was also honing his body. Li Hansong was also honing his body. Wang Jinyang, on the other hand, stopped cultivating. He did not return to Nanjiang, but wandered around MCMAU's campus. In this Magic City battle, he, Yao Qingjun, and the others were just bystanders. They only joined the battle later. Walking on campus, Wang Jinyang's brows were slightly furrowed, as if he had something on his mind. Very soon, there was another person beside Wang Jinyang. Wu Quishan appeared out of nowhere. As he walked, he smiled and said, "Before the minister left, he instructed you not to go to Purple Cap Mountain for now." "It's not that." Wang Jinyang shook his head, frowning. "Vice-Chancellor Wu, I think there's something wrong with me." Wu Quishan frowned slightly, saying slowly, "Something wrong? Tell me about it." Wang Jinyang saw that he was not acting strangely and chuckled. Fang Ping coming to MCMAU and meeting respected teachers like Vice-Chancellor Wu is indeed his blessing. I thought Vice-Chancellor Wu would be wary or even have some doubts. Wu Quishan chuckled. Doubts? The resurrection of the Devil Emperor. Actually, there's no need to worry about this. In the neo-martial era, no one is afraid of resurrection. Even if you, Wang Jinyang, are really the resurrection of the Devil Emperor. So what? The Devil Emperor shouldn't be me. Wang Jinyang shook his head, smiling. I feel that I'm not the Devil Emperor, unquestionable Jian. It's just a feeling. However, I suspect that I might be related to the Devil Emperor. The one who summoned me at Purple Cap Mountain might be the Devil Emperor. Wu Quishan said nothing. Wang Jinyang laughed again. Of course, this isn't important. The key is, I seem to have mutated again. Wang Jinyang said with a strange look in his eyes, my bone marrow mutated. Ever since I reached the high ranks, I'm not much different from the average person. I thought that, at this point, my mutation had come to an end. But yesterday, I advanced to upper stage rank 7 and started honing my skull. Something changed again. What? Wang Jinyang took a deep breath, saying solemnly, I don't think I can hone my skull. Maybe I can't achieve a golden body. I realized that I'm a little similar to Instructor Li, but it's not the same. Wang Jinyang took another breath. My skull hasn't turned into a golden bone. I've never been involved in the issue of a golden body before. My bones haven't turned golden, either. I don't find this strange. Many rank 7 martial artists are like this. If you haven't forged a semi-golden body, your bones will still be white. This is normal. Under normal circumstances, you'll only achieve a golden body when you reach rank 8. But this time, I failed to hone my skull. I realized where the problem lies. My mentality and vitality force are starting to merge. I want to hone my bones, but I can't do it. My strength is also returning to 1, but it's not transforming into a certain type of strength. Instead, it's transforming into an extremely unfamiliar energy. As he said that, Wang Jinyang smiled bitterly. According to the usual practice, when mentality and vitality force merge, it will be converted into celestiality. If you add in your physique, it will be converted into destructive power. Or you can just do what Instructor Li did and convert it into pure vitality force. But I'm not. Or, in other words, my strength is evolving toward the bone marrow force. Wu Quishan frowned, saying in a low voice, "Bone marrow force? I don't know if that's the case. You'll know when you see it." As he said that, a blood-red color appeared in Wang Jinyang's hands. Wu Quishan looked at it for a while, frowning. It's not vitality force. Its purity seems to be purer than vitality force. It's a little similar to Li Changxing's 10,000 Dao unification force, but it's also not. Wu Quishan recalled, last time in Shishan, the book that Fang Ping got said that there were 6 paths of ancient martial arts. 10,000 Dao unification, 10,000 Dao unification, focused on the physique, focused on mentality, cultivated normally. Among them, there's the last one that even the minister doesn't really understand. Cultivate the internal, then cultivate the external. Internal as the main, external as a supplement. Wu Quishan glanced at Wang Jinyang, saying slowly, today's Li Hansong is no longer walking the path of 10,000 Dao unification. He might have been a powerhouse of 10,000 Dao unification in the past. Yao Chengjun used to walk the path of 10,000 Dao unification. The probability is not small. They must have been very pure back then, walking the ultimate path. Now, they're resurrected in the neo-martial era, but they're walking the path of the convergence of 2 paths, Wu Quishan continued. The minister once said that people like you might have sealed yourselves and recultivated martial arts. Maybe you've discovered some flaws in the path. That's why you did it. Both of them are extreme path powerhouses who were resurrected. This time, they're involved in the North-South conflict. I suspect that both of them might have been the representatives of the North and South sects back then, walking the purest North-South path. When they reach a certain realm, maybe something went wrong, so they sealed themselves and reincarnated to recultivate. As for you, you're actually very strange as Fang Ping. Wu Quishan laughed. What you've resurrected is actually the bone marrow force. This is a little unusual. This means that in your past life, maybe you were a top-notch powerhouse of this path. The last path of the 6 paths of ancient martial arts is unclear, as if I've never heard of it before. If that's the case, how can the 6 paths of ancient martial arts exist? I'm guessing that there must be a top-notch powerhouse in this path. That's why there are 6 paths of ancient martial arts. And you might be a top-notch powerhouse of this path. As Wu Quishan spoke, He frowned again. But if you think that you're related to the Demon Emperor or Purple Cap Mountain, then what's the situation with Purple Cap Mountain? What's the situation with Unquestionable Sword? Could it be that he's also walking the same path as you? The last path of the 6 paths of ancient martial arts? At this point, Wu Quishan said, "How about this? When Fong Ping comes out of closed-door cultivation, let him accompany you to find Ash and ask." Ash knows Unquestionable Sword, and he seems to have come into contact with it a lot. Maybe he knows something about it. Don't worry too much. There are thousands of martial arts paths. Even if there are flaws, it's not impossible to correct. In the neo-martial era, everything is possible. If there's really no other way, just cripple yourself and recultivate. Wu Quishan said calmly, smiling. Shatter your bones and shred your mentality to preserve your vitality. It's not impossible to use treasures and recultivate. Your Fong Ping's guide on the path of martial arts. He won't hesitate for such a small matter. When Wang Jinyang heard this, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. That's true. Vice-Chancellor Wu said it. Thank you, Vice-Chancellor Wu. I'll wait for Fong Ping to come out and ask him again. Wu Quishan was quite good at comforting people, although he did not feel very reliable. However, Wang Jinyang did let out a sigh of relief. That was true. At most, he could just cripple himself and recultivate. With his current experience and Fong Ping's help, even if he recultivated, he might only need half a year to reach rank 7. Wang Jinyang no longer frowned. He quickly bid farewell and left. As soon as he left, Wu Quishan murmured, 6 paths of ancient martial arts. Yao Qingjun, who specializes in mentality, Li Hansong, who specializes in physique, and Wang Jinyang, who might be the last representative. The other 3 paths, cultivate normally, focus on physique, and focus on mentality. Are powerhouses resurrected in these 3 paths? Or are these 3 the orthodox paths, and there's no need to recultivate for a lifetime? Wu Quishan pondered for a moment. The last 3 actually existed in both mental energy and lifeblood force. Cultivating mental energy also cultivated the physical body. It was just a little biased. As for 10,000 techniques as 1 and 10,000 techniques as 1, they were not biased. They were not learned at all and belonged to the illiterate category. Humans nowadays still cultivate more on the physique. However, it's still considered dual cultivation. Mentality and physique are not biased too much. The martial arts cultivated by modern humans were still considered the orthodox path. It was slightly biased, and the physique was slightly more biased, but the difference was not too big. Mentality had always been maintained at a normal level. Wu Quishan felt a little strange. In the neo-martial era, the cultivation methods of the land of boundaries could not be obtained. Was it really unobtainable, or was it controlled by someone? Was it caused by the North-South War that year? Both sects had flaws, so they finally decided not to impart cultivation methods anymore. As for now, human martial arts were more or less fixed, cultivating the physique and also cultivating mentality. Except for a few people, such as Li Changsheng, the others would not deliberately give up on one path even if they learned a cultivation method now. Su Guqing and the others were helpless in order to quickly improve their combat strength. Otherwise, they would not deliberately switch to 10,000 techniques as 1. Giving us mentality cultivation methods now is the icing on the cake. It can break some of our shackles and not make people focus on mentality from an early age. If mentality cultivation methods had existed long ago, perhaps many people would not have painstakingly cultivated the physique at all. Wu Quishan pondered again. He was not quite sure if this was man-made or God's will. Anyway, the existence of the neo-martial era seemed to be somewhat special. Taking a deep breath, Wu Quishan stopped thinking about this. In a few years, everything would come to light. Now, the mysterious history of the past was slowly revealing a corner. The land of boundaries, Songkat, the land of kings, these people or demons had begun to appear. The mysterious heavenly king, subduing, had begun to appear this time, and officially walked to the front stage. It seemed that it would not be rare in the future. Absolute peak. Wu Quishan suddenly felt a little regretful. What a pity! It was a pity that this time he was lacking a little and could not achieve a breakthrough in the end. On the other hand, Chun Yaozu, the senior who had been stagnant for many years, advanced by leaps and bounds this time, directly stepping into the impasse realm. The Great War is approaching, and our chances of achieving the absolute peak seem to be greater. Wu Quishan suddenly laughed. Heroes are created by the times. In these 2 years, one powerhouse after another advanced by leaps and bounds. It seemed like a coincidence, but perhaps it was also inevitable. At this moment, Wu Quishan suddenly turned his head to look at MCMU's old section. A golden light shone heaven and earth. Golden body 8 refinement. Li Chongsheng. At this moment, Wu Quishan's pressure skyrocketed. This guy was terrifyingly fast. He was already a golden body 8 refinement. How could this be endured? Just as he finished lamenting, in the next moment, in the southern area of MCMU, another golden light shone heaven and earth. Fong Ping. On the 2nd of January, Fong Ping and Old Man Li achieved the golden body 8 refinement at the same time, breaking the legend that martial artists could not achieve the golden body 8 refinement. Today, many people actually knew that Zhang Tao and Li Zhen did not achieve the golden body 8 refinement, but entered rank 9 at peak 7 refinement. Just like that, the two became invincible at the absolute peak. Today, MCMU produced 2 golden body 8 refinement powerhouses in one day. Perhaps the times had really changed. On the 3rd of January, the Sino-Nation Martial Arts Association officially changed the rankings. This time, the changes were very, very big. Some of the older people were a little surprised by the Martial Arts Association's boldness. This time, the ranking list was cut up. It was cut into many parts. This time, the Martial Arts Association was not just doing it for the rankings. They even had the intention of changing the martial arts ranks. And this was obviously not something that the Martial Arts Association could decide on their own. Someone must have asked the Martial Arts Association to do this before they left. Absolute talent ranking, origin ranking, golden body ranking, grandmaster ranking. This time, the names on the ranking list had changed. It was no longer the previous rank, 7, 8, and 9 ranking list. Of course, the general meaning was similar, but there were indeed a lot of changes. For example, the origin ranking was no longer a general name for rank, 9, but first refinement, second refinement, third refinement. The moment the ranking list appeared, Fong Ping actually knew that this was done by Old Zhang. He was refining the division of rank 9. This allowed martial artists to have a clearer understanding of their own position and where they should work hard. As for the golden body ranking, it was also no longer differentiated by middle, and upper stages. Instead, it adopted the ancient name of golden body ranks to differentiate. Fong Ping also speculated that such a change might be to let more martial artists know that the golden body was not just limited to 6th refinement. There were higher refinements. When the situation in Sino-Nation eased, it was not as urgent as before when people were promoted. At this time, it was probably Old Zhang's intention to let some golden body powerhouses continue to settle down and break through to 7th refinement golden body. Back then, the human situation was tense and far from the catacombs. Entering rank 9 could at least increase combat strength rapidly and achieve origin Dao quickly. However, In this way, these rank 9 powerhouses were actually not that strong. Many of them were early-stage, 6th refinement golden body. After comprehending Origin Tao, they advanced quickly without stopping. The result of this was that when some rank 9 powerhouses fought with the catacombs martial artists, although they had an advantage, it was not a crushing victory in terms of strength. Instead, it was their determination to fight to the death to make the human rank 9 stronger. In terms of combat strength, in terms of foundation, humans were not necessarily stronger than the catacombs. McMao, Fong Ping, who had just come out of seclusion, did not look at anything else but the top talents list. He was very bold. What was the meaning of the Martial Arts Association making this list this time? Old John, what was it for? To show off. Actually, it was not necessary. King martial artists were invincible. They knew what they should know and did not need to know. If that was the case, was the existence of the top talents list purely to inspire people? On the top talents list, there was a preamble. A rank 9 martial artist vitality is comparable to a regular rank 9's 800,000 calories strength. This is the peak of martial arts, 800,000 calories. This was compared to a regular rank 9. The weakest peak had a basic vitality of 200,000 calories. After doubling, it reached 400,000 calories. A peak's qualitative change doubled, which was equivalent to 800,000 calories. This was a weak peak, the weakest kind. However, no matter how weak it was still much stronger than a top-notch rank 9. Before reaching the peak, if the vitality did not double, no matter how strong a regular martial artist was, no matter how strong their foundation was, 400,000 calories was their limit. Such a huge gap. This was the difference between a peak and a non-peak. The ranking of the top talents list had no order and no unnecessary introduction. However, Fong Ping glanced at it and could not help but laugh. This list was not necessarily without order. Garrison King, Li Xuanxia, Martial King, Zhang Tao, War King, Jiang Tianming, Hell King, Li Zhen, Sword King, Su Jian, Moon King, Nen Yunyue, King Ding, Chun Yaozu, Spear King, Zhang Weiyu. A total of 17 peak powerhouses were all listed. Zhang Weiyu was ranked last. Chun Yaozu was second to last. The battle for the North and South Spear Kings had come to an end. Sino Nation had 2 Spear Kings, North and South. Now, the Spear King of the Peak was taken by Zhang Weiyu. Even if the North Spear King Wang Yu achieved the peak in the future, he would have to change his name. List all the peak powerhouses in Star's City. Does this mean that the top talents list has officially come to the forefront? The top talents had been guarding Mount Royal Sea for hundreds of years and had never appeared in front of anyone. Even Shun Haotian and Chun Gaiyang. Although they were on the list, almost no one had seen them before. Today, however, the 17 peak powerhouses were separated and each of them was on the list. Fong Ping did not know whether it meant that Star City had officially come into the world or that the peak powerhouses had come to the forefront. Perhaps it was both. After the top talents list was the origin list. Similarly, there was a preamble. Step out of the origin path. 100 meters is a section, and the origin is divided into 10 sections. 0 to 100 meters was a section, and it increased progressively. When it was above 900 meters, it would be a true rank 9 10th origin powerhouse. First place, Kong Lingyuan, 10th origin. The first person on the origin list was not Wu Chuan and the others, but Kong Lingyuan, who had been seriously injured and had yet to recover. 1 against 12. Even with the help of the Wildcat, Kong Lingyuan had displayed a truly invincible momentum in the previous battle. He was the strongest powerhouse on the origin path. Second place, Zhao Xingwu, 10th origin. Zhao Xingwu had entered the catacombs, and there had been no news of him until now. This time, he was still ranked second on the origin list. Third place, Su Yunfei, Sword King's son, 10th origin. Fourth place, Wu Quishan, 8th origin. Fifth place, Wu Chuan, 8th origin. Sixth place, Zhang Yuehua, Zheng family's patriarch's son, 9th origin. Seventh place, Zhou Xingha, Zhou family's patriarch's son, 9th origin. Eighth place, this time there were many more powerhouses on the origin list. Unfamiliar powerhouses. There were powerhouses guarding Mount Imperial Sea, powerhouses guarding the boundaries, powerhouses from the central government, all the rank 9 powerhouses in Star City, without exception, were on the list. Almost all the powerhouses had shown up in the Magic City Catacombs battle. Even the powerhouses guarding Mount Imperial Sea. First Ma Tianfu appeared, then Zheng Tao fought to the death. These seniors who had been guarding Mount Imperial Sea for many years were on the list, telling the world that Sino Nation had not forgotten these people. They had names, they were powerhouses, they had made great contributions to mankind, and they deserved to be remembered by everyone, including some second-generation elders from the boundaries. One after another, they were on the list. Previously, Fang Ping already knew that most of the 8 boundaries in Sino Nation were guarded by people. Many of those people were the direct descendants of the patriarchs. This time, these people were on the list too. Moreover, these second-generation elders were not weak. There were even powerhouses at 10th origin, which meant that they were not far from the absolute peak. As for Chun Yaozu, before this, he was actually not too strong. After all, his father was not too strong either. Back then, Chun Yaozu had only walked about 700 meters, probably around 7th to 8th origin. And this time, Chun Yaozu directly reached the top of the absolute talent list. Unfamiliar powerhouses, one after another, were ranked in the top 10. Wu Quishan and Wu Chuan, with the strength of 8th origin, were ranked 4th and 5th. Fang Ping almost wanted to laugh when he saw this. Wu Chuan, tragedy. The people who were ranked in front of him, one after another, had become the absolute peak. After Zhang Weiyu became the absolute peak, according to the original situation, he should be ranked first. In the end, the authenticity of this list this time, Fang Ping felt that it was much more reliable. It should be like this. After old Wu survived one after another absolute peak, he did not even enter the top 3, once again being thrown to the 5th place, and was even surpassed by Wu Quishan. Fang Ping was thinking now, if Wu Chuan saw this list, would he go and kill people? What a great disgrace! To think that he had previously shouted that he was the first person below the absolute peak. Now, he had lost a lot of face. However, with the strength of 8th origin, the two of them overpowered a few 9th origin powerhouses. It was enough to prove themselves. This time, the list was rearranged. The weak rank 9s were all 1st origin. They were also all in the list. And this time, Sino Nation had more powerhouses on the origin list. The list went all the way to the 82nd place. Fang Ping knew, before that Imperial Sea Mountain had about 15 seniors, Land of Boundaries had about 10, Land of Kings also had 5 or 6, and the central government also had 4 or 5 people who were not on the list. Warlord said that below the absolute peak in Sino Nation, there were about 80 rank 9s. After that, LV Zhen appeared, and recently there were people who broke through. This time, all the rank 9 powerhouses were out, as high as 82 people. It was not surprising, including the desperate peak. It was exactly 99 people. Sino Nation rank 9s, one more to break through 100 people. The origin list was ranked 82nd, and the Golden Body list also had more people than before. First, Li Changsheng, rank 88 refinements. Second, Fang Ping, rank 88 refinements. Third, The two rank 8-8 refinements powerhouses were especially eye-catching. There was no one else but the third powerhouse, rank 8-6 refinements. The top 10 were almost all rank 8-6 refinements. Only after these two people, there was a gap, no rank 8-7 refinements powerhouses. In the neo-martial era, there was a gap in martial arts. Rank 8-7 refinements were rarely seen. Today, there was no 7 refinements, but there were 2 more 8 refinements powerhouses. It also surprised and shocked many people. Chapter 850. The release of the new list also caused a stir. It was almost the first time most of the martial artists below the pinnacle rank had found out that rank 9 actually had such a distinction. Many people even felt that rank 9 could not be considered a rank 9. Minimum 800,000 calories vitality. When this number was released, countless martial artists were shocked. Peak rank 3 martial artists, vitality 1,000 calories. Peak rank 6 martial artists, vitality 10,000 calories. As for rank 1 martial artists, the lowest was 800,000 calories. Such a difference was like heaven and earth. From 400,000 to 800,000. This was the difference between the strongest and rank 10 origin powerhouses. There was also a qualitative difference between them, but rank 9 was still considered a rank 9. At this moment, even Fang Ping was puzzled. How big was the difference between the Emperor realm and the Desperation realm? If the difference was not big, then there was no need to care too much about whether it was the Emperor realm or not. The top rank, 10, like Old Zhang, probably had more than 1,000,000 cal vitality. This was rank 9 vitality, comparable to more than 2,000,000 calories. Could it be that this wasn't a qualitative transformation? Fang Ping did not think too much about the changes in the Emperor realm. It was still far from him. At this moment, Fang Ping was more concerned about the changes in his strength. Wealth, 31 million points vitality, 123,600 calories, 126,800 calories. Mentality, 6,125 hertz, 8,099 hertz. Destructive power, 63 yuan, 63 yuan. Storage space, 10,000 cubic meters plus. Energy shield, 1 point/minute plus aura simulation, 10 points/minute plus origin detailed analysis, 10-100 million points/time. Vitality has exceeded 120,000 calories. Destructive power has reached 63 yuan. Fang Ping looked at the new data, his mind turning. If one could master the destructive power 100%, that would be a destructive power of 315,000 calories. A powerhouse like that would be considered a top-notch elemental Tao powerhouse. Being at origin level 10 did not mean that one could unleash such powerful strength. The strongest rank 10 origin Fang Ping had seen was Qi Huanyu. That guy's basic vitality was probably 200,000 calories, not lower than a weak rank 9. This guy had stayed in rank 9 for hundreds of years, honing his physique to the extreme. He was not weaker than a normal peak golden body 8th refinement or even 9th refinement. For an expert like him, his origin Tao had also reached the limit. Apart from not having the qualitative change like the absolute peak, he was a true monarch expert. After the enhancement, Qi Huanyu's own strength could reach 400,000 calories, but he could not achieve a 100% outburst. However, he had lived for too long, so he could probably reach 90%, a vitality outburst of 360,000 calories. This was probably the strength of the strongest rank, 9 in both realms. Of course, divine weapons and absolute arts also had amplification effects. If Qi Huanyu was proficient in controlling the divine weapon and had a powerful ultimate art, he might be able to reach the 400,000 mark. 400,000. This was the limit of strength that was not at the absolute peak. Fong Ping looked at the ranking list for a while and felt his new strength. He was satisfied, but not completely satisfied. He was still not strong enough. His control over his power had always been his weakness. Advancing too quickly was a bitter consequence. The 8th refinement golden body should be able to offset the boost from quintessence Tao. I should have the strength of at least level 5 quintessence Tao, but I don't. Fong Ping shook his head slightly. Right now, it was hard to say who would emerge victorious if he were to battle a martial artist below level 3 of Origin Tao. However, if it was above level 3, it would depend on the situation. Under normal circumstances, when an Origin Tao had reached 300 meters, his control over his power would not be too low. Moreover, everyone had their own ultimate art. Even if they did not have an absolute peak ultimate art, they would have their own unique ultimate art. It's normal that everyone has lived for so many years. I have to keep a normal heart. Fong Ping comforted himself. Old man, Li was considered young. He had just passed 60 years old, and he was only 61 years old now. He was 40 years older than him. After 10 years, Fong Ping would be 21 years old now. Old Zhang should be 86 years old this year, right? Fong Ping complained in his heart. Old Zhang might be considered young among the absolute peak, but he was still an old man, almost 90 years old. Li Zhen seemed to be a few years older than old Zhang. He was also an old man. Nan Yunyue was even older, more than 90 years old. I'm still young. I'm still young. Old antiques like Old Cat are thousands of years old. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. Fong Ping suppressed his restless thoughts. At his stage, if there were no wars, it would not be difficult to live 1,000 years. He had only walked 1/50th of his life. What was there to be anxious about? McMao. After the war, MCMU was still a little chaotic. Now, people came and went very lively. The current MCMAU could directly connect to the Magic City catacombs. There were no underground passageways. There was a direct path to the vortex. On Fong Ping's way to the combat techniques room, greetings were endless. Vice-Chancellor Fong was now Vice-Chancellor Fong in name only. After the war in Magic City, Zhang Tao and the others' prestige among the powerhouses had reached the peak. Fong Ping's prestige had also reached the peak among MCMAU instructors and students. In November, Huang Jing and the others died in battle. Fong Ping planned the war in Magic City and conquered the catacombs in one battle. In less than 2 months, the Magic City catacombs that weighed on the hearts of Magic City martial artists no longer had any hidden dangers. It had completely become Sino Nation's territory, including the forbidden areas. When he thought of the forbidden areas, Fong Ping suddenly thought of something. His mentality fluctuated rapidly, and he asked, Ironhead, where are the Phoenix and the Rat? They were temporarily escorted into the catacombs to prevent them from rioting. Vice-Chancellor Gua and the other 2 are watching over them now. Oh, I'll go back and take a look. This time, the divine weapons are more damaged. In the distance, Li Hansong's figure appeared. When he heard this, he broke into a smile. Did Fong Ping have his eyes on those 2 monsters? Li Hansong's speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of him and asked, 8th level? How do you feel? It's SOSO. Not enough. Fong Ping smiled as he walked. You're not bad too. Rank, 8th level, not bad. Li Hansong looked embarrassed. Was rank, 8th level, only not bad. He had just entered rank, 8 a few days ago. Currently, his mentality was only enough for him to advance to rank 8 3rd level. Even rank 8 4th level would be difficult. I'll go to the combat techniques room to take a look. Old Zhang and the others left their ultimate study in the combat techniques room. They're not the average kind of bold. Aren't they afraid of being robbed? Li Hansong chuckled. Who dares to come to MCMAU to rob? It's about time the ultimate came. That's true. Fong Ping walked for a while and said, I'll bring you guys to see Cat later. This guy might know something. Maybe he can help you guys further. That Cat, you better take it easy. Solve your own problem first. Fong Ping smiled. My problem? I'm fine with it. Maybe Cat knows something, maybe not. You don't have to care too much about it. Li Hansong nodded and said nothing more. Then he grinned. Have you seen the Golden Body ranking? There's a total of 147 people. I'm ranked 31st with my rank 8 second-level ability. I'm ranked higher than many rank 8 4th or 5th level powerhouses. Nonsense. You have the divine armor. Even Origin Dao can't kill you. Is it surprising that you're ranked higher? As Fong Ping said that, he asked, how strong is your vitality now? More than 50,000 calories, close to 60,000 calories. Reaching 60,000 calories meant that he had stepped into rank 8 3rd level. Fong Ping thought for a while and said, does your skull still increase your strength? In the past, everyone's vitality was much higher than the average martial artist's. Now it seemed to be even. Fong Ping was the same. Li Hansong thought for a while before saying, a little, but not much. Maybe a few thousand cal more. From rank 1 to rank 8 3rd level, I have about 60,000 calories. When I enter Golden Body 6th level, I should be able to reach 100,000 calories vitality. The increase isn't big. Fong Ping continued walking and asked again, how's your strength control? About 60%. It's a little weak. Fong Ping lamented, we're improving fast, but we need to solve this flaw as soon as possible. Veteran powerhouses usually have strength control above 70%. In this battle, I'm fine. You're just a shield. You can't do anything. Li Hansong smiled bitterly. At least he was still a shield for a rank 9. It was not bad. His improvement had actually exceeded his imagination. Fong Ping was still not satisfied. This guy was really ambitious. Seeing that he did not speak, Fong Ping chuckled. We're the main characters of this era. Old Zhang, and the others are old. When they're old, it's time to retire. It's time to enjoy the rest of their lives. The previous battle had allowed him to be in the limelight. You want to watch the show forever? No. Then we have to become stronger. There will be many opportunities to become stronger. Purple Cap Mountain and the Battle King's land might be opportunities for us to become stronger. Little Fatty said that when he reached rank 8, the Battle Kings found an opportunity for him. If there's a chance, we have to join in too. Fong Ping chuckled. I want to enter 9th refinement. You also have to hone your golden body as soon as possible and reach the high forging state. Only then will you have the ability to fight head-on. Now that the Paragon and True Kings have not appeared, this is actually our chance. After the matter of the Battle King's land ends, I think the True Kings of the Catacombs will probably be completely dormant, waiting for the final battle to arrive. And this time difference is our last chance to rise. Now, 107 passageways had been opened. Just a few days ago, the 107th passageway had been opened. At this moment, only the last passageway had not been opened. It was within Sino Nation's borders. When the last passageway was opened, there might be earth-shattering changes. After nearly 1,000 years, all the passageways had finally been completely opened. Fong Ping knew that the great battle was coming. Li Hansong's expression was solemn. He nodded. Understood. Don't worry, we will improve as soon as possible. We won't be a burden to you. Oh, right, that kid Qin Feng Qing has some secrets. This guy has been preparing recently It seems like he's preparing to go on a long journey. I suspect that this guy has found some opportunity and is preparing to seize it. Everyone has their own opportunity. Don't worry too much. Fong Ping smiled. Last time, he confidently said that he would catch up to me sooner or later. He must have found something. However, even if there is an opportunity, it's nothing more than those treasures and the like. It might be useful to him, but it might not be useful to us. Qin Fengqin was still a middle stage, rank 7, just a little away from upper stage. What was useful to him might not be useful to Fong Ping. As they spoke, Fong Ping had already walked to the door of the combat techniques room. Once at the door, Fong Ping suddenly laughed. Instructor Song, you're not guarding the energy room anymore, but the combat techniques room instead? At the door, Song Ingji shot him a look. He said helplessly, Grandmaster powerhouses like you don't do this. There's something special in the combat techniques room now. If we don't guard it, will you? He had also entered the mentality-vitality fusion realm, but his mentality was still a distance away from materialization. He was afraid that he would still be at this stage in the short term. In MCMAU, nowadays, those who had not entered the Grandmaster level were not considered powerhouses. Fong Ping could not help but laugh. He did not say much. He asked quickly, why did the minister and the others leave their secret techniques here? Song Ingji chuckled. Do you really think that they left it for you? Consider it as leaving it for the fated. Some people's paths are similar to the minister and the others. It's worth it to learn their secret techniques. They left it here for everyone to try. If the compatibility is really high, you can learn it too. After you learn it, you'll have nothing left. Fong Ping knew that an ultimate secret technique would shatter immediately after learning it once. He did not expect the two paragons to have such intentions. He had thought that old Zhang was a good person, leaving an ultimate technique for him. It turned out that he had prepared it for everyone else. Old Zhang said that he would give it to me. I'm taking it. How old are you guys? Go and create it yourselves. We juniors are the ones who have to walk the path of our predecessors. Fong Ping was straightforward. He immediately took the ultimate technique for himself. Song Ingji did not know whether to laugh or cry. I didn't say that I won't give it to you. Why did you snatch it? Everyone tried it. The compatibility isn't high. It might not be as useful as your own. But since you've taken it, don't waste it. Old Song, this is not the tone you should use when talking to the Vice-Chancellor. You should respect the Vice-Chancellor. Song Ingji was speechless. He ignored him. Respect my ass. Kid, you're only strong now. If you're weak, I'll give you a beating every 3 days. Fong Ping and Song Ingji joked around for a while. Soon, they entered the combat techniques room. On the highest floor of the combat techniques room, 2 crystal books floated in the air. One book soared aura soaring to the sky. The other book, gentle aura. Without guessing, Fong Ping knew which one was old Zhang's. He was curious about old Zhang's ultimate technique. He had never heard of its name, but he knew Li Zhun's void-piercing swordsmanship technique. Old man, Li had learned it. His combat strength was strong, and the compatibility was extremely high. This was what Li Zhun meant at the beginning. If he died in battle, Old Man Li would take his place. However, after Old Man Li left, he no longer had the chance to do so. There were no words on the crystal books, but that was invisible to the naked eye. Fong Ping's mentality fluctuated. Very soon, words appeared on both crystal books. Void-piercing swordsmanship technique. Fong Ping took a look at Li Zhun's ultimate technique and ignored it. Old Zhang's. Fong Ping was dumbfounded. Zhang Tao's education log. What the hell? Fong Ping was dumbfounded. This was the name of an ultimate technique. Fang Ping was dumbfounded. Li Hansong's face was red from holding back his laughter. He huffed and puffed, trying not to laugh. It's a little similar to your 10,000 teachers square ping technique. Fang Ping smiled bitterly. Come on, I'm not as direct as him. I'm directly calling it Zhang Tao's education log. If anyone learns his ultimate technique, who can stand it when they unleash a move and shout Zhang Tao's education log? Look at Old Man Li and the others. Every move they unleashed would be void-piercing roars. If he learned old Zhang's ultimate technique in the future, would he also have to shout Zhang Tao's education log in such a shameful manner? He would not have the face to shout it. Shouting the ultimate technique's name was to increase one's aura. Once the battle started, martial artists would give it their all. Sometimes they would feel flustered when holding back, and they would feel uncomfortable if they did not shout it. However, Fang Ping swore that even if he learned this ultimate technique, he would never shout it like that. After watching for a while, Fang Ping frowned slightly. It doesn't seem to be suitable for me. Old Zhang's is slightly better. It doesn't seem to repel me too much. However, Commander Li's aura isolates me. I'm afraid it'll be a waste if I learn it. Li Zhen's ultimate technique was murderous and unparalleled. This kind of ultimate technique did not seem to be suitable for Fang Ping. Moreover, it used a sword. Fang Ping had almost never held a sword before. It's mainly for reference. Li Hansong said immediately, ultimate techniques are the way energy is arranged. I'll let you see how peerless powerhouses arrange their energy. However, the arrangement of the absolute martial arts energy was complementary to their Tao of origin. That's why I said that ultimate techniques are also a manifestation of origin path. The two ministers really value you. Of course. Fang Ping chuckled. I'm prepared to become sworn brothers with them when I'm a peerless expert. We're family, let's not talk nonsense. Li Hansong rolled his eyes. Don't think that when I wasn't around that day, you wanted to acknowledge old Zhang as your godfather. Now that you're going to become sworn brothers, are you going to become their godfather tomorrow? Fang Ping continued to smile. Why? You have an opinion? Think about it. A peerless expert can live for thousands of years without dying. Is there a difference between us being 20 years old and 100 years old? We're considered the same generation, right? Same generation. Then becoming sworn brothers won't be a problem. Fang Ping broke into a grin and kept the two manuals into his arms. He had to figure out these two ultimate techniques carefully. However, this was not urgent. He still had other things to do here. He had to settle the matter with Old Cat as soon as possible. After settling the matter with Old Cat, it would not be too late for him to study it slowly. He could also go to the catacombs and settle his gains this time. His wealth points were now depleted. He did not have many wealth points even if he wanted to cultivate. Besides, when Old Cat killed King Pine earlier, he could not open his ring. King Pine was dead, but his storage ring seemed to be sealed. This made Fang Ping very helpless. Old Zhang and the others left quickly. Fang Ping suspected that only a desperate realm powerhouse could break the seal of King Pine's remaining mentality. He would try looking for Old Cat. As for Old Cat, it was most likely not worth his attention. If he did, he would not have watched Fang Ping pick it up last time. A true king's storage ring must have a lot of good stuff. It's a pity it's not mine yet. If I could get a few unique fruits, that would be great. Fang Ping really did not think about himself this time. Right now, many rank 9s were still unconscious. Even the imperishable substance was useless. Zheng Tao, Kong Lingyuan, Wang Tringhai, Nen Yunyue, and Tian Mu were also seriously injured and on the verge of death. Tianmu was slightly better. The other 4 were taken away this time. Even if he could not save them, he could at least heal Tianmu. As the top of the Heavenly Plant's royal court, it was not surprising that King Pine had a rank 9 monster plant. The true kings of the Heavenly Plant's royal court, King Pine, and the others were not plant spirits but catacombs humans. However, their titles and surnames were almost all named after plants. This was not a coincidence. Almost all of them had accompanying monster plants following them from when they were weak all the way until they reached true king realm. For example, there was a powerful maple monster plant in the Maple King region. Peak rank 9, it was stronger than Feng Jiuqing. Plant monster plants lived for a long time. Some were passed down from generation to generation. Rumor had it that this maple tree in the Maple King region had followed King Maple's father and even grandfather before following King Maple. Therefore, the reason why King Maple had a treasure like the maple fruit was because of this monster plant. Fong Ping guessed that King Pine should also have a pine monster plant following him. It was difficult for monster plants to become true kings. Usually, they would stay at rank 9 for thousands of years. After such a long time, they might have spent time and energy to bear a divine fruit similar to rose flowers. That was a treasure that could let rank 9 powerhouses come back to life after their mentality had been extinguished. Back then, Lord Rose City's condition was similar to Wang Qinghai and the others today. Since it could let Lord Rose City live, it could also let them recover. In the past, Fong Ping did not really understand the preciousness of these treasures. Now, he truly understood how difficult it was to let a rank 9 monster plant bear only fruit. At the cost of a decline in ability, it even contained some of its own origin path. Essence, spirit, and soul were exhausted. Huge amounts of resources, including vitality, were consumed just to bear only fruit. Once in a lifetime, 1 fruit at a time. Not every monster plant could produce such a fruit, or rather, it was almost invisible. Rose flower. At this moment, Fong Ping was a little distracted. A monster plant that had fallen in love. It was unbelievable. I don't know if King Song has these things. If he does, it'll be much easier. These true kings also know the preciousness of the only fruit. They might force rank 9 monster plants to do it. It might not be voluntary, but it was hard to say if its life was in danger. Let's go. Call Old Wang and Old Yao. Let's go see Big Cat. Fong Ping did not think about this anymore. He called Ironhead and laughed. Old Yao, this guy might be able to get some opportunities this time. Old Cat and Gong Juanzi have been around for so many years. Old Yao is a southern sect powerhouse who has been resurrected. In my opinion, he might really be able to get some benefits this time. Li Hansong said with a look of anticipation, "Which realm do you think is the northern sect's grotto heaven?" "I think Shwanda grotto heaven and Void Mausoleum grotto heaven might not be the northern sects. Void Mausoleum grotto heaven might be." It felt hostile toward Old Yao, but it couldn't enter last time. Also, Fong Ping, do you think the few of us are the masters of the grotto heaven? Fong Ping glanced at him and chuckled. "Master of the grotto heaven? You're the general of the northern expedition." As he said this, Li Hansong said gloomily, "General of the northern expedition? In the past, it's nothing. But now, you're saying that the northern sect powerhouses are the ones who are going to conquer myself?" This time, he could not pretend to be deaf and mute. This title would not do. How could he, the northern sect powerhouses, conquer the north? This was not right. Fong Ping helped to explain. You don't think it's good? You can just take it as a title, or you can be the general of the northern expedition. How about this? This is not bad. Li Hansong nodded in satisfaction. This could be done. Northern Expedition was not bad. Both of them did not mention the Heavenly Emperor was fake at all now. Anyway, they were just fooling around like this. It was enough. Their friendship and bond had come about through this in the beginning. Old brothers reunited. If the truth was exposed now, it would not be good. It would make them look stupid. It was better not to mention it. No matter what Fong Ping's identity was, he was the Heavenly Emperor now. Even if the true Heavenly Emperor came, it would not do. Fong Ping glanced at Li Hansong and sighed, helplessly. Forget it. You can entertain yourself. If you say you're the Northern Expedition Emperor, I don't have any objections. Ignoring Iron Head, Fong Ping took the lost art and walked out, looking for someone to ask for cat food. He had to meet this cat and see if there was a chance to pet the cat's head. He had never touched a cat this big in his life. P.S. Pushing a new book, Don't Soar, by Gentle Words to Wine Boss, is about to be published. Brothers, if you like it, please support it. Thank you. Chapter 851. At the beginning of February, Old Eagle said that he would take first place in the monthly votes. He was brimming with confidence and fighting spirit. His dreams were beautiful, but the results were not so beautiful. There were so many things to take care of in February, and everyone felt dizzy. As for the problem of not updating, there was no need for brothers to remind me again. I missed 5 updates for the basic updates, but I won't make up for the one I missed on the day of the healthcare, and I won't make up for it when I officially applied for leave. I will make up for it after 5 updates. I owe countless rewards and updates. Old Eagle doesn't dare to mention this, but I still dare to talk about the basic updates that I owe. Of course, as for when exactly, it would be better to wait for my current state to be slightly better. I was actually in a daze for the entire February. Although Old Eagle's state wasn't good, he still took first place this month. I still have to thank all of you brothers for your support. Thank you all so much. In February, I fought for first place and said that I would win the Great God Pact. Cough, cough, it's about time. In a few months, I might be able to call myself Eagle God. Allow me to laugh for a moment. I still have to thank all of you brothers for your support along the way. After struggling for so many years, I couldn't have gotten to this point without everyone's support. I won't say any more pleasantries. I would like to express my thanks once again. In March, let's vote for a guaranteed monthly vote. I don't want to lose sight of the monthly vote rankings right after taking first place. Old Eagle is also a person who cares about his reputation. Brothers, we have to support him. Thanks. Global High Martial Arts became the champion in February, asking for a guaranteed monthly vote in March. Currently typing, please wait a moment. After the content has been updated, please refresh the page to receive the latest update. Chapter 852. Magic City Catacombs. Hope City had completely disappeared. The tall mountain that Song Mao had moved here had also been flattened by experts. The original Hope City was now a barren wasteland. However, there was still a large number of martial artists stationed here to prevent some catacombs martial artists from escaping to the human world. When Fong Ping and the others entered, the martial artist station there roared excitedly, "Vice Chancellor!" Even the surname was omitted. Fong Ping took a look. The martial artist stationed there was from MCMAU. He looked familiar, but he could not remember if he was a junior or senior. "You guys have worked hard." Fong Ping smiled and said a few words of condolence. "Good for you. You have a bright future. I'll remember you." Fong Ping was considered a big shot now. In his past life, his status now would probably be higher than some of the feudal officials. It wasn't easy. In 3 years' time, he had actually reached this step. The heavens really had eyes. Fong Ping smiled smugly. Beside him, Wang Jinyang and the others were speechless. Was there a need to be so happy? He was already a person with rank 9 combat strength, yet he did not change his expression even if Mount Tai collapsed in front of him. He did not have the slightest bit of willpower, but soon they all had smiles on their faces. "Hello, Principal Wang, Principal Yao, and Dean Li." Li Hansong grinned from ear to ear, and soon he suddenly transmitted his voice. "No, I want to be the vice principal. I always feel a level lower than you guys." Since everyone else was the headmaster, he was the dean. Old Yao was now the vice principal of the top military academy. If Nan Yunping couldn't recover from her injuries, Old Yao might even become the principal. Of course, the two schools were currently discussing a merger. FMS might enter MCMAU and be stationed in the Magic City catacombs. Fong Ping could not be bothered with him. "You want to be the vice-chancellor? Isn't that the same level as me? How could that be?" Li Hansong was still depressed. At the side, Qin Fengqing, who had snuck in, had a green face. "I'm a big soldier. No position at all." For a master-level expert to end up like this, it was really too miserable. At most, he would call him Grandmaster Qin. Fong Ping ignored them and asked about the catacombs for a while. Soon, he said, "Go to the Forbidden Sea. That cat should be in the Forbidden Sea area." To humans and catacombs powerhouses, the Forbidden Sea was a forbidden land. However, Fong Ping felt that the cat had swum in the Forbidden Sea a lot and had probably fished a lot in the past. At the edge of the Forbidden Sea, this catacomb's #1 forbidden area was always dead silent, without any signs of life. "Brother Cat." Fong Ping's mentality fluctuated, wandering in the air above the Forbidden Sea. Very soon his mentality began to overflow and was absorbed by the seawater. Fong Ping's mentality fluctuated for a while. His gaze flickered slightly. "What do you guys think the Forbidden Sea seawater is?" This thing was terrifyingly corrosive. Corrode everything. Both his psychic energy and physical body would be corroded, including the hopeless abyss. However, once the seawater left the Forbidden Sea, it would lose its effect. It was very special. However, the demons seemed to be able to adapt. When demons entered the sea, they would not be able to adapt in the early stages, but they would be able to withstand the invasion of the seawater in the later stages. The Forbidden Sea was the territory of the demon race. In the truest sense, it was the territory of the demon race. However, Fong Ping felt that the Ash Cat was still a little special. Other demons might be able to enter the Forbidden Sea, but it would definitely not be as easy as the Ash Cat. The Jiao and the other demons were still somewhat fearful of the Forbidden Sea. The aquatic demons might be able to adapt to it, but the land demons were quite fearful of the Forbidden Sea. They would also be tortured if they went down there. Wang Jinyang looked around. Suddenly, he stretched out his hand and grabbed a handful of seawater. The moment his palm entered the water, it began to sizzle. However, when he grabbed the seawater and left the surface of the seawater no longer corroded his flesh. Looking at the seemingly harmless seawater in his hand, Wang Jinyang did not care about the corrosive injury. He opened his mouth and said, "The seawater only has a special effect in the sea." This means that the special effect might not come from the seawater itself. It might be caused by something underwater. Fong Ping nodded slightly. After thinking for a while, he said, "Old Zhang seems to know some powerful demons in the Forbidden Sea. He should have been here before." Fong Ping remembered that in the previous absolute combat strength ranking, the 8th place was a Forbidden Sea Demon King. It was even specially marked as being 10,000 miles away. This meant that old Zhang had gone at least 10,000 miles deep into the Forbidden Sea. How big was the Forbidden Sea exactly? No one knew about this. Fong Ping and the others only knew that the periphery of the 108 outer territories was all the Forbidden Sea. It was boundless. Other than the sea, there was only more sea. In such a vast sea, there were probably countless demons. The Forbidden Sea surrounded the entire catacombs. At this moment, Qin Fengqing suddenly said, "Fong Ping, do you remember those books that we found when we went to the nest? Are you talking about that Wolf Commander-in-Chief, the rank 7 Commander-in-Chief that he thought was incomparably powerful in the past?" Now, Fong Ping almost could not remember its name. This time, that commander-level powerhouse was probably dead, right? In the previous battle at the Sky Gate, the other party did not appear. In this chaotic battle, there were too many powerhouses who participated in the battle. Fong Ping was also not sure if the other party was dead or not. However, there were no high ranks in the catacombs in Magic City Catacombs now. If the other party did not escape from the catacombs, then he was definitely dead. Qin Fengqing nodded, chuckling. Demon Emperor Calendar, year 3882, a great war broke out. The heavens fell, and the earth split. The Forbidden Sea appeared. The 2 kings brought the remnants of their troops and fled to the desolate border. This was the historical record in a book at that time. Fong Ping heard that and laughed. I haven't forgotten. However, many of the books in the outer territories are actually rumors, hearsay. This is similar to us. It's considered unofficial history and may not be trustworthy. According to the records in the book, Demon Emperor Calendar, year 4895, the Resurrection Passageway opened. Now, it's year 1000 of the Divine Continent Calendar. At the end of the Demon Emperor Calendar, it was still the 2 kings who ruled the catacombs. As for the 2 kings who went into hibernation, it was at least 2,000 years ago. Does this mean that before the Divine Continent Calendar, there should be another era? Or did the Demon Emperor Calendar continue on? Fong Ping shook his head. The matters of the catacombs are very complicated. Some of the old antiques have lived for thousands of years and know a lot of things. However, these people are also unwilling to say anything. Qin Fengqing grinned. I'm not talking about these problems with the era. The last part about fleeing to the desolate border, what does it mean? Fong Ping smiled. I know what you want to say, but I think the possibility is not high. How big is the catacombs? Could it be that back then it was only considered a desolate border area? Not necessarily. Qin Fengqing laughed again. I think it should be similar to Earth. The catacombs are actually mainly the ocean. However, back then, there was a main continental plate that sank in the end during a great war. The catacombs might have been a continental plate similar to South America back then. The sinking of Divine Continent, this is also recorded. Don't you remember? Therefore, it might not be impossible. When they were reading the books back then, they did not pay much attention to this. This was because at that time, these legends of the Demon Emperor were too far away from them. That was the first time Fong Ping knew that Magic City Catacombs were 7 Southern Territory. At that time, he only had the strength of a rank 3 or 4. In reality, it had not been that long. Fong Ping recalled for a while. It was probably at the end of 2009. Just about a year ago, Fong Ping thought about this and said, let's not care so much. The Forbidden Sea is still not a place for us to set foot in. If there's a chance in the future, we can explore it. Do you guys want to go fishing? Fong Ping had just finished speaking when a big cat's head suddenly popped out. Fong Ping's heart skipped a beat. He was almost scared to death. Could this cat not appear and disappear like a ghost? He did not notice it at all. The cat's big head popped out. It was shiny and did not get stained by the seawater. The cat's face lit up. It said happily, "Where's the cat food? Do you guys want to go fishing too?" but it's not easy to fish these days. The island I mentioned before has been occupied by a big bird. The cat was suddenly annoyed. It said unhappily, "That big bird occupied my island. That's the place with the most fish. Now it has taken all the fish and won't let me fish anymore." The cat was unhappy, very unhappy. A bird had snatched its territory. Fong Ping's heart stirred slightly when he heard that. He said, 10,000 miles away? More or less? The cat scratched its head with its paws. It was still unhappy. There was a hint of anger on its big face. That bird is quite powerful. It's almost as powerful as that big snake last time. It's so annoying. It had promised the puppy to bring it fishing, but now its fishing spot was occupied by someone else, and it was a powerful true god monster. The cat did not want to fight. It could only be angry alone now. The demon king of the Forbidden Sea? Fong Ping thought. The cat said it was very powerful, comparable to the myriad demon king, and it was only 10,000 miles away from the coast of the Forbidden Sea. That should be the Forbidden Sea demon king that Zhang Tao mentioned, right? Otherwise, how could there be such powerful monsters everywhere? A powerhouse comparable to the myriad demon king was a top-notch powerhouse even in ancient times. Fong Ping thought about it and asked, "Brother Cat, you don't know that big bird?" Logically, powerhouses in the catacombs have cultivated for at least thousands of years to reach this level. Brother Cat, you haven't seen it before you entered the grotto heaven? The cat looked up at the sky. After a while, it said, "I don't remember." That's right. It has the strength of a titled true god. It must have been very powerful in the past. Could it be the big crow that ate our fishbone? The cat was a little suspicious. Its paws started scratching its head. Was it it? It did not pay much attention to it. When it was fishing there in the past, there were indeed some birds that ate the fish they caught. However, it had the strength of a desperate realm. It could not remember how many years it had been. Back then, it was already at the peak. Why would it care about some weak, unpalatable, and seemingly unappetizing monsters? The cat thought for a while. It was no longer conflicted. It muttered, "I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. That big bird might know me. When it saw me, it wanted to fly away, but it didn't. Humph, I remember now. I must have poked it before." The cat snorted. If he did not poke it, why did it want to fly away when it saw him? Later, it stopped running. It probably felt that its strength had increased, and it did not need to be afraid of this cat anymore. Forget it. It was too lazy to care about it. It did not like to eat bird meat, and crow meat. It tasted terrible. Fong Ping saw it snorting. The fat on its neck was trembling. Fong Ping suddenly wanted to pinch it and play with it. After thinking about it, he immediately dismissed this suicidal idea. The cat was too big. It was not easy to pinch. It was also too strong. If he pinched it until it went crazy, even old Zhang might not be able to save him. But then again, this cat was really fat. Fong Ping sighed. What breed was the cat? An orange cat? It's longer than an orange cat's tail. Orange cats were usually short-tailed cats. The cat's tail was not short, but who knew? When it reached the peak, it could change however it wanted. Besides, it was a cat from countless years ago. Who knew what breed it was? Thief, what are you thinking about? Just as Fong Ping was thinking about this, the cat suddenly looked alert. It shook the flesh on its neck. You want to poke me? Fong Ping smiled. Why you say that, brother cat? I didn't mean that. Also, just call me Fong Ping. Bad guy, the cat muttered. Not a good guy. How dare you want to poke me? Ignoring Fong Ping, the cat immediately remembered business and asked impatiently, Where's my cat food? I brought the cat food, but let's talk while we eat. Also, about building a cat palace. I need Brother Cat to tell me your requirements. There's no rush. Fong Ping smiled brightly. Let's talk slowly and interact more. Since the cat palace was going to be built, it was a chance to interact more. As he said that, Fong Ping suddenly blasted a big hole in the ground. He said, Brother Cat, bring some water from the Forbidden Sea here. But there are no true kings here, so we can talk directly outside. Let's sit down and talk about what kind of cat palace to fit Brother Cat's taste. As soon as he said that, the cat suddenly conjured a beautiful building that looked like a celestial palace. It said casually, this one. Fong Ping glanced at it and laughed. Okay. But we still have to talk about it in detail. For example, the standard, the size, the geographical location. Brother Cat, don't be anxious. As the strongest absolute venerable cat since the beginning of time, if the place you live in is bad, it will be a disgrace to Brother Cat. If old acquaintances see this, won't it be a joke? So, Brother Cat, be patient. It will happen very soon. Fong Ping doesn't want to delay Brother Cat's fishing time, but I can't fool Brother Cat, right? The cat looked at him, then at the few people beside him. It muttered, he's up to no good. There's no such thing. Liar. Absolutely not. Brother Cat, please don't misunderstand. The cat wanted to poke him to death, but gave up after thinking about it. Forget it. Let's talk about my cat palace. After guiding some seawater into the hole that Fong Ping blasted, the cat crawled into the big hole. Fong Ping was delighted. This was good. They could talk slowly. Otherwise, it would be hard to talk if the cat stayed in the sea all the time. After the cat entered the hole, Fong Ping and the others also sat down around it. Fong Ping took out a lot of cat food from the storage space. It was not cat food. It was not the kind of rigid granular stuff. It was all kinds of fresh food, canned food, and other miscellaneous things. It included all kinds of snacks, chocolates, and candy. It was food, as long as it was edible and tasty. He did not know what the cat's taste was. Maybe it would like it if he got more. The others at the side were speechless. This fellow Fong Ping was really something. He had managed to get all sorts of random things. The ash cat was also dazzled by the sight. Were there so many of them? What a weird look. Was this what cat food was like? All cats liked it. That was not all. A barbecue rack suddenly appeared in front of Fong Ping, filled with energy stones. Fong Ping had a lot of barbecue skewers in his hands. He smiled. Also, to thank Brother Cat for your help earlier, we specially prepared some delicious, fresh, and hot food for you. Let's talk while we eat. Oh, right. I also brought some wine. It tastes good too. Beer, white wine, red wine, rice wine, yellow wine. Fong Ping had no idea how many boxes there were in front of him. The cat was dumbfounded. Wine. I don't drink wine. But this wine seemed to be different from the ones before. As he spoke, Fong Ping started the grill and called out, "Don't just stand there. You guys come and help me. Let's talk while we eat. Qin Feng Qing, you'll be the cartographer. Later, write down all of Brother Cat's requests, organize them into a book, and draw a picture of the cat palace." Qin Feng Qing quickly smiled and said hurriedly, "No problem." This was a peerless cat, and a rich one at that. He had to serve it well. Qin Feng Qing was also very straightforward. He immediately got a small table from Fong Ping and started laying out the blueprint. He was ready to go all out and show off his skills to the cat. Not to mention, it looked like it was the real deal. The cat looked for a while, a little curious. Was it so troublesome to build a cat palace? At this time, a large number of building photos appeared in Fong Ping's hands. There was the Forbidden City, the Bird's Nest, the Science and Technology Museum, the skyscrapers. There was everything. Fong Ping threw the huge book to the cat and smiled. Brother Cat, these are some modern buildings. You can take a look. What's the difference between them and what you had back then? We can choose based on merit. Fong Ping smiled brightly. I only know one thing. You mean the puppy? The cat gobbled down the canned food with relish. As it flipped through the book, it replied, the puppy is learning how to swim, so I threw it into the sea. When it swims back, it can accompany me to go fishing, swim. Fong Ping glanced at the forbidden sea and shuddered. Poor Jiao. Did the cat throw it into the depths of the forbidden sea? There were a lot of monsters in the sea. Could it have been eaten by the monsters? Fong Ping ignored the Jiao. The cat probably would not kill it. If it did, it would have smacked it to death. Puppy, Fong Ping muttered in his heart, but he did not ask. Was the Jiao related to the big dog that the cat mentioned? Brother Cat, do you remember these people? Fong Ping pointed at old Yao and the others, gesturing with his eyes for them to show their divine weapons. Old Yao's spear appeared, Wang Jinyang's blood-red longbow, and Li Hansong's divine armor all appeared. The cat glanced at them. Like an old pedant, its big eyes rolled up. It was still looking at the picture book. All that was missing was a pair of reading glasses. It glanced at them from the corner of its eyes. It seemed to be recalling something. After a while, it said, "It's a little familiar, but they said they don't remember. I think it's Emperor Armor, God of War, Bao, God Destroyer. Probably." The cat muttered, "With these divine weapons, they should be very strong, right? It's been too long. I don't really remember. When did I see them?" With divine weapons, it should be when the emperor was still around, right? Gongjuanzi. I didn't see you guys at that time. I'm not too familiar with you guys. Otherwise, I would have an impression when I just woke up. That little fatty, I only remember one thing. You guys familiar, but I don't remember. The cat muttered to itself. It still had some impression of little fatty, including the guy who came with Little Sword. It had some impression of him too. However, it only remembered that it had seen these divine weapons before. It was not too familiar with the people. Its casual words stirred waves in everyone's hearts. Not during Gong Juanzi's time, when the emperor was still around. Human emperors had almost never appeared. They only existed in legends, unlike demon emperors, who were known to all powerhouses in both realms. Who were Old Yao and the others? Fong Ping's heart was full of doubts. He felt a little regretful. If that was the case, Old Yao and the others might not have any corpses left in the battlefield. Did that mean that they could not have the ultimate combat strength in advance? Maybe we'll be able to open the door. Fong Ping and the others trembled. A door? Sanjiao Gate. Someone blocking the road to the Great Way is actually a door? Is the door sealed? But how to go? How do I take a detour? How do I go from both sides and break this door? Fong Ping could not hold it in. Just as he was about to ask, the cat said gloomily, "Don't ask. I really don't remember. There were some things that could not be said. If he said it, there would be big trouble. There were some really powerful fellows who might not have really been stabbed to death yet. Besides, if they find out, they'll cause trouble for me." The cat felt wronged. Muttering, "You guys can try it yourselves. I've never gone through it. How would I know so much?" It was Big Dog who said it. Big Dog saw it that year. It didn't say it clearly. How would I remember? Besides, I don't have a door. They didn't block my way. Fong Ping was stunned again. What did it mean? Swallowing his saliva, Fong Ping whispered, "What Brother Cat means is that your emperor path is actually not blocked." The cat looked at him strangely. "Yes, why did they block my way?" "Then, why didn't you become an emperor?" Fong Ping continued to stare blankly. "Why didn't you become an emperor?" The cat was even more surprised than him. I want to sleep. Cultivation is so tiring. The more I walk, the more tired I get. After becoming stronger, I still have to fight with others. Even if you don't fight them, they'll still fight you. But if I don't become an emperor, they won't fight me anymore. Everyone was dumbfounded. This was the reason why you didn't cultivate. This was the reason why you were still at the top after so many years. While everyone was fighting to become a monarch realm expert, and everyone was working hard, fighting, killing, and scheming for the sake of attaining the monarch realm. A cat told them that cultivation meant fighting, so they didn't want to cultivate anymore. Go to sleep. If it did not become an emperor, no one would fight with it anymore. It was a leisurely, happy cat life. Fong Ping suddenly did not know what to say. He was suddenly a little envious of the cat. What did this mean? What was the point of fighting and fighting? Everyone wanted to become an emperor. The people in the catacombs wanted it. The people on Earth wanted it too. The demons wanted it. The humans wanted it. The old antiques of the sex all wanted it. Only this cat did not want it. It did not fight, so it lived until now. It did not fight, so it could sleep and enjoy its cat life. Fong Ping could imagine some things. Back then, a group of powerhouses or a powerhouse blocked someone else's path. When he saw this cat was sleeping lazily, sleeping contentedly. That person or that group of powerhouses, when they saw this scene, probably laughed and shook their heads, choosing to ignore this cat in the end. Who would care about a cat that did not fight and only wanted to eat and sleep and eat? It couldn't even be bothered to cultivate. As for how it got into such a state, perhaps it was purely from eating and drinking. Martial arts must fight. This was the neo-martial era, because this was an era where not fighting would lead to death. Not fighting would lead to the extinction of mankind. But what did the extinction of mankind have to do with this cat? The era it lived in might not have had this concept at all. Fight. Don't fight. At this moment, Fong Ping's aura fluctuated a little. Not only Fong Ping, Wang Jinyang, and the others also fluctuated a little. Conflict of ideals. A cat that was unwilling to fight met a group of martial artists that must fight. At this moment, there were some differences in ideals. Fong Ping felt this struggle and conflict for the first time. If it was a weakling, then it was nothing. But this was a peak, an old antique peak. Whether it was a human or a demon, when it said this, it would cause a great impact to people. In the crowd, Yao Chengjun took a deep look at the cat, suddenly turned around, and left. It was not suitable for him to stay with this cat. If he spent too much time with this cat, it might erase some things in him. He could not accept that. Yao Chengjun did not look back, leaving quickly. Wang Jinyang's expression fluctuated, but he did not say a word. Qin Fengqing mumbled, "Who cares if he fights or not? There's no harm in becoming stronger. If you're not strong, people will kill you. This is the way of the world." The cat did not seem to realize anything, but it still glanced at Yao Chengjun, who was leaving, and muttered, "He's leaving. Strong mentality is sensitive. Even I'm not as generous as this cat." Fong Ping gradually regained his composure. He smiled and said, "Brother Cat, don't bother with him. He's a soldier. Sometimes he's a little stubborn." "I'm not bothered." The cat did not care much about this. It resumed its big smile, pointed at the atlas with its paw, and said, "I want this place. Bring it to eat." "Okay." Fong Ping agreed readily and continued, "Brother Cat, you really don't remember how to walk the opposite path." "I don't remember." "You guys try it." "That's not right." The cat suddenly said, "They can try it." "You and this person stop trying." As it said that, it pointed at Qin Fengqing. "If you guys haven't done it before, you can't. It's very troublesome." As the cat said that, it glanced at Qin Fengqing again. Suddenly, it said strangely, You're in trouble. Qin Fengqing's expression did not change. He was still smiling. Brother Cat, did you see wrongly? I didn't. The cat looked at him and scratched its head with its paw. It said strangely, You seem to have come into contact with someone. It feels like someone familiar. Why did I come into contact with you? The cat fell into deep thought again. Fang Ping, on the other hand, glanced at Qin Fengqing and frowned slightly. Who did this guy come into contact with? F***CK. He never mentioned this. Didn't he know that some old antiques were very cunning? Could it be that the opportunity he mentioned was related to this? Fang Ping said in a low voice, Brother Cat, who did he come into contact with? Is he in danger? Qin Fengqing laughed dryly. Just as he was about to speak, Fang Ping's gaze sharpened. He growled, You shut up. Qin Fengqing was embarrassed. He lowered his head and started drawing, not uttering a word. The cat scratched its ears and cheeks, feeling a little irritated. However, when Fang Ping used his mentality to control the can and send it to its mouth, the cat swallowed it in one gulp. It was no longer irritated. Its memory seemed to have improved too. It opened its mouth and said, I don't remember who it is. Looking for him to be a fighter? The cat did not quite understand. It guessed casually, I don't know if it's him. Probably something like that. Fang Ping laughed. He's only rank 7. Looking for him to be a fighter. He's not qualified, right? If you feed him, he'll become stronger. The cat said matter-of-factly, He's the same kind of person as Big Dog and Little Sword. I remember Big Dog said that dogs like him should fight heaven and earth and become a dog emperor. Little Sword wasn't like that at first, but after being provoked, he became like that too. He feels that way too. Those who know Big Dog and Little Sword probably think that he can become stronger too. Maybe he's the next Big Dog. Fang Ping was initially a little gloomy. At this moment, he suddenly felt like laughing. Qin Fengqing's expression darkened. You're the dog, not me. You're the next Big Dog. No, this fellow is a cat. It's useless to scold him. Li Hansong huffed and puffed, his mouth moving. Big Dog Qin. Fang Ping regained his smile. You're saying that someone thinks he'll be the next Big Dog or unquestionable sword, so they're grooming him? I don't know. I didn't do it. How would I know? The cat was too lazy to say more. It was just a random guess. Don't make me use my brain anymore. It's tiring. But he's a person with his own thoughts. Aren't other people afraid that their efforts will be in vain? The cat was about to fly into a rage again. Fang Ping continued to feed him. The cat calmed down, eating until his mouth was full of fragrance. He said vaguely, Maybe there's a way. For example, Little Sword. Many years ago, Little Sword was very good. He fished with me and went sightseeing everywhere. At that time, Little Sword was great. But he got married. The cat was suddenly a little disappointed. Little Sword found someone else and wanted to give birth to Little Sword. Then he ignored me. Then something happened. Someone beat Little Sword's wife to death. Then Little Sword changed. The cat was helpless. He said gloomily, Some people are very bad. They knew Little Sword would fly into a rage, so they beat her to death. Little Sword flew into a rage, and then there was chaos. Fang Ping was silent for a moment. He asked again, So unquestionable Sword triggered the war that year? Was unquestionable Sword the mastermind behind the war with the Catacombs' 2 kings? I don't know. I was asleep at that time. The cat shook his head. Little Sword came out when I was asleep, but when I wasn't asleep, he didn't appear. I couldn't find him either. He didn't want to fish anymore. He only wanted to stab those bad guys to death. Brother Cat, what you mean is that the person who contacted Qin Fengqing secretly wanted to repeat this scene. After Qin Fengqing became stronger, he did something to provoke him. so that he would become the next variable? The cat licked his paws. His paws were too fragrant. He could not hold it in, and stole a glance at Fang Ping and the rest. Seeing that they did not care, he continued, "Probably some bad guys are very bad." Gong Juanzi said that humans have the worst hearts. He doesn't need to control you. You just need to do what he wants to see. That's enough. Having said that, he pointed at Qin Fengqing and said, "This guy is the same as Big Dog and Little Sword. He's very easily provoked. When the time comes, he'll go crazy." "Yes, that's it." Fang Ping looked at Qin Fengqing and said in a low voice, "Did you hear that?" "Yes," Qin Fengqing said helplessly. "Fang Ping, there's no such thing. It's really an opportunity, but it's useless to you guys. Stop talking nonsense. When we go back, tell me everything in detail." Fang Ping gave him a deep look and smiled. "Brother Cat, how should we fight back when we meet this kind of antique?" The cat widened his eyes and looked at him. He did not speak for a moment. Fang Ping smiled. "What's wrong? They're true gods." "Are true gods as strong as the emperor?" Fang Ping chuckled. "In our era, the emperor's job is to help us solve our problems. If there's trouble, we can look for the emperor to solve it. Brother Cat, you've seen it too. I was the one who led the battle earlier. The emperor and the other true gods joined the battle in the end. This is the neo-martial era. In this era, we're not afraid of being schemed against. We may be weak, but we're united. Our powerhouses will give back to the weak. Our weak will respect the powerhouses. When we've become stronger, we'll also give back to the weak. This is the passing of the torch. Generations of neo-martial artists limped along, supporting each other. That's how we got to where we are today." At this moment, Fang Ping was extremely proud. He laughed loudly and said, 100 years ago, there wasn't a single rank 9 martial artist in Sino Nation. Only Star Town had some rank 9s. As for Sino Nation, there wasn't a single one. 100 years later, Sino Nation's rank 9s emerged endlessly. True gods kept appearing too. In less than 100 years, we have 4 million martial artists. And now, this number is still rising. Brother Cat, are you shocked? The ancient martial era, the apatheicized era, the era of sex. Have there ever been such a grand occasion? This is neo-martial era. Therefore, no matter how difficult it is, it's no longer difficult. When the sky collapses, the powerhouses will be crushed first. Only the weak will survive until the end. This is neo-martial era, a neo-martial era that was enough to make people fight for their entire lives, even if they bled, even if they sacrificed themselves, even if they could not see any hope. However, the martial artists of this era, even if they could not see any hope, they never stopped. They were all moving forward. No one was in despair. No one was pessimistic. Perhaps there were, but those people were all thrown out by some powerhouses, thrown into the evil sex, thrown into the garbage dump. Therefore, in less than 100 years, there were newly promoted Paragon Martial Kings, Hades King, Moon King, Spear King. The cat's eyes widened as he listened. After a long time, he scratched his ears and said, "Is that so? It seems different from before. The pseudo-human emperor is very strong. The one that this whoever meets might not be as strong as the pseudo-human emperor. Then it's simple. When they feed this whoever to peak pseudo-god, you guys can go and stab him to death together. It's best if he doesn't get fed to true God. It's very troublesome. If he gets fed to true God, if he sees your Tao, he might end up like that, whoever, and be taken away by someone." The cat was a little confused, but Fang Ping understood. He smiled and said, "Are you talking about that Qi Huan Yu?" "That's him." The cat did not care about the name. He said, when you walk out of the origin Tao, your Tao is still short, so he might not necessarily look at you. But when you're about to become a true God, he might have a way to peek at you. Maybe he thinks that your Tao is very strong. The cat was not too sure. Then he said with some certainty, maybe so. Big Dog and Small Sword are both very strong. Some bad guys can't walk their own Tao, so they want to walk it again. They're also afraid that if they walk too short, they won't be able to reach the Tao, so they want to find someone with a strong Tao to walk on. As the cat spoke, he looked at Qin Fengqing again. This whoever hasn't walked the Tao yet. That bad guy who's in hiding might let him walk the Tao he wants to walk. Big Dog and Small Sword's Tao are actually similar. They've both walked very, very far away. I don't know if he can do it, but maybe he can. Qin Fengqing grinned. Of course. You have a discerning eye. Brother Cat has a good eye. The cat was dumbfounded. You're really similar to Big Dog. Big Dog can't be like humans too. Qin Fengqing did not react at first. In the next moment, his face darkened. What did he mean? Li Hansong and Fong Ping could not hold back their laughter. Fong Ping asked with a smile, could he be Big Dog's reincarnation? The cat suddenly said with some sadness, no, Big Dog and Small Sword won't reincarnate. They're either stabbed to death or still alive. They'll only live as themselves, not as others. I don't know what happened to Small Sword, but Big Dog definitely won't. He'll only fight on, fight until he dies. The cat was a little disappointed, his mood suddenly downcast. Heavenly Dog would not reincarnate. He had been fighting all his life, fighting until the last moment of his life without stopping. He would either become an emperor or die in battle. When he left that year, he said that he wouldn't come back until he became an emperor. He really didn't come back. The cat suddenly burst into big tears. After living for so many years, those who were close to him were all dead. All dead. At this moment, some memories suddenly surfaced in his mind. The cat shook his big head and muttered, don't forget, don't remember. In the next moment, the cat returned to normal. There was only happiness on its face. It was as if the one who cried just now was not this cat. Fong Ping looked at it strangely. This cat did not really have Alzheimer's. It did not have amnesia. It seemed to be forgetting some things. Fong Ping did not know what to say for a moment. Did cats have emotions too? It was forgetting some unhappy and sad things. The cat ate happily again, as if the sadness from before was all an illusion. It did not happen at all. Fong Ping took a deep breath and asked, one last question. Brother Cat, everyone says that chaos is coming, and everything is for the seed of rebirth. The seed of rebirth has the hope of letting people become emperors. What is the seed of rebirth? The seed of rebirth? The cat said doubtfully, I don't know. I've never heard of it. Not at all. The cat confirmed. He had no impression of it at all. Fong Ping frowned and said, maybe it's called differently since ancient times. I heard from the emperor that the seed of rebirth may be something to continue the path. Does Brother Cat know? Continue the path. The cat scratched its head and said, are you talking about the key to the door? Someone installed a door. I don't know if there's a key. Maybe there is, but I don't have a door, so I don't care. Key? Fong Ping frowned and said, if there's a key, what kind of key is it? Also, who is the one who blocked this path? Who has the ability to cut off the future of martial artists in the world? I don't know. The cat seemed to have run out of patience. It said perfunctorily, who remembers who blocked it? Maybe it's those few very powerful people. Then, are you going to ask why they blocked the path? The cat had an I'm very smart expression and said happily, I know this. Big Dog said that it's because people are afraid that it will become stronger and eat them. Little Sword said that it's because the emperors think that these roads are already roads. If they continue to walk, it's still the original road. They want people to open the road themselves. That old man Gong Juanzi said that it's because the emperors are afraid that a few more emperors will steal their positions. Also, some people said that if the emperors are too strong, they will shatter heaven and earth, so don't let people become emperors anymore. Anyway, they've all said it. I've actually thought about it too. Maybe they're going to sleep and are afraid that people will become too strong and stab them to death. So they block the road first and don't let people become stronger and stab them to death. Fong Ping noted them down one by one, including the old cat's conjecture. Although he thought it was funny, it was rare for this cat to think on its own. He still had to remember it. The last question. No, you said the last question just now. The cat was dissatisfied. You said you won't ask anymore. Definitely the last one. Brother Cat, eat more. The prototype of the cat palace has just been drawn. Fong Ping laughed. Brother Cat, are you still lending out your divine weapon? Does Purple Cap Mountain harbor hostility toward humans? Does Unquestionable Sword harbor hostility toward humans? If he's alive, is he definitely in Purple Cap Mountain? He said that he's an abandoned disciple of Purple Cap Mountain. Why was he abandoned by Purple Cap Mountain? Are there still emperors alive? How did the Forbidden Sea come about? Is there an existence in the sea that can threaten humans? Fong Ping said it was one question, but he threw out dozens of questions at once. The cat's eyes widened as it listened. Was this considered a question? Under Fong Ping's expectant gaze, the cat slowly put away all the snacks and hid them somewhere. Fong Ping saw this and instantly understood what it wanted to do. He said hurriedly, "Then help me open the ring first." Fong Ping hurriedly took out the ring. This cat was going to run away. As expected, in the next second, the cat's speed was so fast that Fong Ping could not see it at all. It disappeared with a whoosh. Before it left, a voice left behind. "I've opened it. Don't ask me anymore. It's so annoying." That one with a lot of HP, whose mentality was pulled by someone, doesn't seem to be Xiaojian. He looks familiar. Xiaojian's master? I don't remember. You guys call the fake human emperor along. The cat seemed to have noticed something long ago, but it did not want to answer. Or perhaps it did not want to remember. After saying a few words, the cat's figure was nowhere to be seen. Fong Ping said quickly, "Then I'll send cat food for Brother Cat next time. Next time I'll get the puppy to take it." The cat was smart for once. Fong Ping said again, "Don't you want to go to Purple Cap Mountain to take a look?" "No, Xiaojian probably isn't there. Even if he is, I won't go." Chapter 8:54. Right now, Fong Ping could not care about anything else. As he flew toward Hope City, he checked the ring that had just been opened by the cat. The moment the ring was opened, Fong Ping's wealth instantly increased by 800 million points. It was worth 8 trillion. Fong Ping did not know whether to be happy or disappointed. Was this all a true king powerhouse had? After all, when he got Feng Miesheng's storage ring, it had added 300 million wealth points to him. Is King Pine, that poor bastard, really that poor? Fong Ping was helpless, but he was still very curious about the things in the storage ring. Soon, Fong Ping used his mentality to explore it. The storage space was not small, at least 50 cubic meters. This was the biggest storage ring Fong Ping had ever seen. Among Ji Yao and the rest storage rings, Ji Yao's storage ring was the biggest, but it was only about 10 cubic meters. Fong Ping did not know about the other true kings. This was the first true king storage ring he had gotten. The storage ring has 50 cubic meters. According to the previous value, 1 cubic meter is worth 50 billion. This is not considering the difficulty of having a large space. This is already worth 5 trillion. In other words, King Pine's other things were actually worth more than 500 billion. However, Fong Ping was soon surprised. King Pine's storage ring was almost empty. He did not see any energy stones, energy liquids, or life essences. These things were what Fong Ping obtained the most wealth points from each time. This time, however, there was not a single thing. At the true king's level, energy recovery was not a problem. They did not need to use this. The storage ring was not small, but it was empty. It was not completely empty either. There were some crystal boxes floating in the space. There were not many. Fong Ping counted. There were 8 boxes in total. 8 boxes, worth more than 500 billion. Fong Ping was not disappointed now. The fewer the items, the better. The fewer the items, the higher the value. After all, the Sky Elm's holy fruit was only worth 1 trillion each. If that was the case, the items in these boxes would not be much worse than the holy fruit. It was not just 1 or 2, but a total of 8. What would a true king store? In Fong Ping's opinion, at the true king's level, ordinary treasures would not be interested. For example, he had pitifully few items in the space now. He would not carry anything because he had no use for it. Fong Ping wasted no time. He quickly took out the first crystal box and opened it. Wang Jinyang and the others were still deep in thought when they saw him opening the crystal box. This looks familiar. The moment Fong Ping opened the box, a wave of dense energy seeped out. Before his eyes, a peach-like fruit appeared. He did not recognize the others, but he had been to the Palace of 100 Kings and seen their treasure illustrations. After looking at the peach for a while, he suddenly said, "I remember now. I think it's the longevity peach." Longevity peach? Li Hansong asked curiously. "What's it for?" "I feel like there's a lot of energy. It's not very useful. It's not very useful to us." Fong Ping smiled. "This is also a holy fruit born by a true king monster plant. It's used to replenish vitality. Actually, it's an enhanced version of life essence. When vitality is greatly damaged, even a rank 9 can recover instantly. Of course, vitality was actually lifespan. However, be it humans or the catacombs' powerhouses, they did not really care much about the issue of lifespan. Once one reached the golden body realm, living for 1,000 years wouldn't be a problem. But now, there were almost no 1,000-year golden bodies. Humans did not exist. If the catacombs had lived for 1,000 years or a golden body, they might have been beaten to death. As for those below rank 6, before the Sanjiao Gate was sealed, there was a limit to their lifespan. They could live for 1 or 200 years. But their life and death, not many people cared. If their cultivation was not up to par, then so be it if they died of old age. Humans did not have this kind of martial artist either, because after a few decades, almost all of them had died in battle. As for the catacombs, no one cared about the life and death of these martial artists below high ranks. Therefore, in this era, although there were powerhouses who pursued an unlimited lifespan, they had not reached this stage yet. The longevity peach's effect of replenishing vitality was not as important as healing injuries. This can be given to Dean Chun and the rest. Fong Ping smiled. This is the most suitable for powerhouses who cultivate infinite Tao. Their vitality depletes quickly. Even if they can use vitality to replenish the loss of vitality now, it's still extremely fast. If this peach is given to them, it's enough to replenish their consumption many times. 1 bite can probably last for a month. No wonder King Song kept this. Under the situation of energy isolation, even if a true king swallowed this peach, he could recover more than half of his strength. True kings could absorb void energy to replenish their consumption. The speed was so fast that it was unimaginable. However, once they entered the space battlefield, the energy was actually isolated. The more they fought, the weaker they became. King Song brought this thing with him to prevent this situation from happening. Unfortunately, he did not use it. He was directly hooked to death by the cat. Longevity Peach. I hope it's not all this stuff. Fong Ping shook his head. It was not bad, but it was not suitable for him. Soon, Fong Ping continued to open the boxes. 8 boxes. This was only the first one. Pine cones? I think so. King Song really has this thing. Pine cones don't seem to strengthen mentality, but they are helpful for strengthening the body. It's an upgraded version of the golden body fruit. Pine cones again. King Song is a piece of trash. A true king actually brought 3 pine cones. Don't tell me his golden body is not as strong as mine. Fong Ping ridiculed. Weak. He was still using pine cones when he reached the true king realm. This fellow had entered the true king realm at most when he was at the early stage of rank 8 6th refinement. No wonder he was so weak. The value of pine cones is at most comparable to the maple fruit. Let's say 20 billion for one. 3 of them will be 600 billion. One longevity peach is slightly more expensive. Let's say 500 billion. That's it. This is 1 trillion. Fong Ping was suddenly not angry anymore. This was good news. For boxes were only slightly more than 1 trillion. That meant that the remaining 4 boxes were worth at least 4 trillion and above. If you have the guts, give me 3 more pine cones. Fong Ping continued to ridicule. If you give me 3 more, I'll consider you powerful. That meant that there were 4 boxes. One of them was worth close to 4 trillion. It was a few times more valuable than the holy fruit. Fong Ping opened the 5th box. Suddenly, he frowned. After a while, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. Holy fruit. Heavenly Elm's holy fruit. F***CK. King Song actually has this? Holy fruit. As soon as he said that, the others became interested. Qin Fengqing was about to speak when Fong Ping glared at him and said, "You shut up." Qin Fengqing was helpless. "I haven't even said anything." Old Wang laughed and said, "Heavenly Elm's holy fruit, the one that improves mentality?" "That's right." Fong Ping laughed. "I didn't expect King Song to have it. Looks like he obtained it in the past. This guy kept it for himself. Under normal circumstances, he would give it to his descendants." Fong Ping continued, "This thing's effect is not bad. The weaker your mentality, the better. I've taken 3. If I take more, the effect will be average. My mentality is now more than 8,000 hertz. I'm afraid I can't reach 9,000 hertz. You guys," Fong Ping glanced at Old Wang. After some thought, he said, "Give it to Tai Tu." Tai Tu is now a golden body 2nd refinement. His mentality isn't strong enough. I'm afraid his mentality will be shackled when he reaches 3rd refinement. Wang Jinyang laughed. "You don't have to give it to me. I don't need it now." Li Hansong scratched his head and laughed dryly. I won't stand on ceremony." Then, the holy fruit was extremely valuable. It was as high as 1 trillion. However, he really needed it now. He did not have mentality as strong as Old Yao. Although his physique was strong, his mentality could not improve. He would definitely stop when he reached rank 8 3rd refinement. Now, only by improving his mentality could he quickly advance to 4th refinement or even 5th refinement. Fong Ping did not say much. He continued looking. The 6th box. Fong Ping was surprised again. There seemed to be a crystal door in the box. Fong Ping looked at it for a while. Suddenly, a crystal door appeared in his hand. King Pine's crystal door. According to Tsang Mao, this was King Pine's Tao of origin. The ore was very similar. This is King Pine's descendants' Tao of origin, a rank 9's Tao of origin? Fang Ping's gaze changed instantly. Li Hansong quickly regained his composure. He said solemnly, "How ruthless! This fellow killed his descendant, didn't he? Using a method similar to Tsang Mao's, stripping away his descendant's Tao of origin. He wants to walk on a second path." A rank 9's Tao of origin could still be spied on. Old Wu had spied on the Rose City Lord before. Of course, that was after she died. With the true king's ability, there was still some hope of killing a descendant and seizing the other party's Tao of origin. This fellow's death is not to be regretted. I'm afraid it's his descendant. No wonder I've never heard of him having a strong descendant. Even the true king residence doesn't have any descendants. I'm a little curious now. What special method does Life King have to spy on others? And he's still alive. This point, Fang Ping could do it. Tsang Mao's divine peeking mirror seemed to be able to do it too. However, now that it was broken, he did not know if it would work. How did Life King do it? Without thinking further, Fang Ping glanced at the miniature version of the crystal door. He shook his head and said, "It's only useful for peak rank 8 martial artists as a reference. It can help people understand themselves and walk on their own path." King Pine is useless. He probably wants to walk on his own path first. Has this fellow walked 2,000 meters? He can't wait to kill his descendant and seize the other party's path. This thing was a one-time use. Fang Ping was too lazy to use it. He could look at it whenever he wanted. However, the others did not have this ability. It was indeed a great help to peak rank 8 powerhouses. Fang Ping kept it. Looking at it again, in MCMAU, only Lu Polu had hope of using it now. However, even though Lu Polu had improved rapidly until now, he was only at rank 8 third refinement. He was still a long way from peak. Chun Yaoting might be able to use it. Fang Ping thought of Chun Yaoting, the former number 1 rank 7 powerhouse. After achieving rank 8, he improved rapidly. Now he seemed to be at rank 8 fourth refinement. It had not been that long. Perhaps it would not be long before he could achieve rank 8 sixth refinement. He had stayed at peak rank 7 for many years. His mentality was very strong. It was not something that people like Fang Ping and Li Hansong, who advanced rapidly, could compare to. A rough estimate was that his mentality was probably no less than 5,000 hertz. Lu Polu was about the same. However, because old Lu was stuck at the stage of honing his skull, his mentality did not grow as fast as Chun Yaoting. This was probably the only advantage that these older martial artists had now. They had been stuck at a rank for many years. Due to the lack of resources, they could not advance quickly. Now that they had sufficient resources, their advancement speed was very fast. 1 trillion. The crystal door isn't worth much. Fang Ping's heart moved slightly. 6 boxes were only worth this much. Were the remaining 2 worth more than 3 trillion? When he opened the 7th box, a powerful wave of energy rose instantly. An energy cloud appeared in the void. What is this? Fang Ping was stunned for a moment. He looked at a human-shaped object in the box. Was it a ginseng fruit? He was stunned. Old Wang and the others were also stunned. Ginseng fruit. This thing that looked like a doll. It was not too much to call it a ginseng fruit, right? Li Hansong said hurriedly. You don't know? I've never seen it before. How would I know? Fang Ping was speechless. At this time, a wave of mentality suddenly fluctuated and spread rapidly. The cat's voice rang in his ears. Ah, what a familiar smell. It was also attracted by this wave of energy. Fang Ping was speechless. Did these top powerhouses all have this kind of hobby? The cat was not eavesdropping, was it? The cat really did not have this kind of hobby. It was too tired. It had no choice but to release its mentality. At this moment, the cat was a little anxious. Can you give it to me? This is delicious. After eating it, I'll sleep. I'll sleep very comfortably. Fong Ping said hurriedly. What is this? What's its use? This is a cat fruit. The cat's words almost made Fong Ping vomit blood. Don't tease me. This cat was very interested in food. It's really a cat fruit. I planted it before. Too bad the cat tree ran away. When I was asleep, it ran away. How annoying. Yes, the cat tree is not dead yet. This is what it grew. Humph, I'll catch it sooner or later. How dare it run away? I don't even have a cat fruit to eat when I wake up. The cat was angry again. This was really planted by it. It was specially planted to grow fruits to eat. In the end, it fell asleep, and the other party ran away. It used to have a lot of good things and was too lazy to look for them. However, it was poor now. It had not eaten cat fruits for a long time and wanted to eat them now. Look, isn't the fruit it grew a small cat? It's not a human. After the cat said that, Fong Ping and the others looked at it hurriedly. Sure enough, it looked like a human at first glance, but now it really looked like a cat. A chubby cat. Cat tree. Fong Ping's expression suddenly became a little strange. He murmured, Guardian of the royal court. I heard that there's a monster plant that became a true king. No, it's a veteran true king powerhouse. It has disappeared for a long time. It's said that 1,000 years ago, before Tianyu, it was the guardian of the sky plant royal court. Cat fruit. Cat tree. Could it be the same tree? It had disappeared for a long time. 1,000 years ago, when Tianyu came, it disappeared. Fong Ping did not know if it was the same tree. As for where the Pine King's cat fruit came from, Fong Ping was also not sure. Maybe it had really appeared again, or was it left behind in the past? The cat did not care about this. In the void, a big cat's virtual image appeared, saying pitifully, Give it to me. I really haven't eaten it for a long time. Can eating it increase my mentality? It can't. The cat's projection shook its head. It can't increase mentality, and it can't strengthen the flesh. Fong Ping was speechless. No way. Wouldn't that be useless? The cat fruit is used to stabilize the origin space. When I fall asleep, I play in the origin space. Sometimes when the space is about to collapse, I eat the cat fruit. When I wake up, it's fine. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. He coughed dryly. If that's the case, it can actually help with the recovery of origin path injuries. I think so. Is the origin space the origin path? No. The cat explained. It's the dark house in front of your origin path. Fong Ping understood. Stepping into rank 9, the dark void outside the path. So this was the origin space. The cat actually liked to play in here. Thief, can you stop asking me questions? The cat said bitterly, Give me the cat fruit. I want to eat it. Brother cat. Fong Ping said with a solemn expression, This belongs to Brother Cat in the first place. It's only right that I give it to you. But Brother Cat also knows that in the previous battle, many human powerhouses suffered serious damage to their origin paths. They are still unconscious. If this cat fruit can save them, then whether it's the Emperor or the Netherworld Lord, including us, we will remember Brother Cat's kindness. Brother Cat is for eating. We need it to save lives. If Brother Cat is willing, I will give Brother Cat some cat food next time. The cat was a little regretful. It muttered, Is that so? All right then, since the cat tree is still alive. Actually, I can eat it sooner or later. How annoying. It's still alive and doesn't continue to bear fruit. When I'm done training the puppy, I'll let the puppy catch it. The cat said this again, and again, kicking the task to Jiao. It did not want to find it. It was too troublesome. Fong Ping, however, was tempted. Brother Cat, if we encounter this tree next time, is there any way to deal with it? The cat said happily, There is. Do you want to catch it for me? It's most afraid of the big dog. The big dog often wants it to bear fruit to eat. As long as you mention the big dog, it will be scared to death. Just mentioning it will make it tremble. You can conjure the big dog's appearance. It will be even more scared. As he said that, an incomparably huge golden dog appeared in the void. It was a real big dog. Fong Ping and the rest looked at it and suddenly felt their hearts stop. This was not a dog. This was obviously an emperor. The huge golden dog raised its head slightly, staring at the sky. Even if it was just a phantom, it gave off an extremely domineering feeling, as if it would break through the sky, and break the sky in the next moment. The emperor of dogs. No, the emperor of demons. In the blink of an eye, the phantom disappeared. The cat said, This is it. Scare the cat tree to death, and let it sneak away. But the opponent is a true god. It's okay. This is the flaw of its origin path. It's afraid of the big dog. It's so afraid that when it walks on the origin path, it almost collapsed a few times when it saw the big dog. That tree was afraid of the skyhound to the core. It was so afraid that even if it walked on the origin path, it could not be erased, leaving a clear flaw. Of course, this matter was probably only known by the cat and the skyhound. Fong Ping's gaze was a little strange. I actually inadvertently discovered the flaw of an antique, true king monster plant. This was a super big secret. If it was used well, it might be able to easily kill a true king monster plant. However, this was the cat's tree. Whether it was killed or not would depend on it. If he told old Zhang, he might still be able to get it back. Since the cat was here, Fong Ping quickly opened the last box. If it was something that he did not recognize, perhaps the cat would. As soon as the box was opened, the cat indeed recognized it. Looking at the black and swarthy stone in the box, he said quickly, This is the heaven-breaking stone. In the past, when our fish hooks were broken, we used this to repair them. Some big fish are too strong. When they pull the hook and break it, we need to repair it. Fong Ping was tempted. This is used to forge a divine weapon. It can be used to forge a divine weapon like the fishing rod. It can't be. The fishing rod is... I forgot how to forge it. This can only be used to repair fish hooks. However, if you smear a little on the blade, it will be very sharp. It can stab a true god. Fong Ping was instantly tempted. It could hurt the peak. Damn, this treasure. Too bad it was too small. Fong Ping weighed it. Was it half a catty? This could only be smeared on the blade. No, perhaps it could be used to forge a dagger. No, I want to forge it into a needle. Fong Ping suddenly thought of something. If this thing was forged into a needle and placed in the house of gold, it might be of great use. Out of the 8 treasures, this was the only one that was useful to him. As for the others, Fong Ping felt that the cat fruit might be the most valuable. However, this heaven-breaking stone might not be cheap either. These 2 items looked like they were worth 4 trillion. They were not ordinary treasures. Seeing that Fong Ping had no intention of giving it the cat fruit, the cat felt a little regretful. It said no more, and the projection shattered in the blink of an eye. After its projection shattered, Fong Ping suddenly laughed. The cat is easy to talk to. It deserves to live for so long. It was the one who killed King Pine. The cat tree belonged to it. In the end, when Fong Ping took the fruit, it begged Fong Ping to give it to it pitifully. Fong Ping did not give it to it. It did not even have the intention to snatch it away. It just left. Just for this, when Fong Ping's strength increased in the future, could he ignore the cat in danger? Wang Jinyang also sighed. It's quite interesting and cute. although it doesn't fit its identity as a peak. However, it could live until now. Maybe this is also its way of life. A peak heaven cat that might have lived the longest and was still active in front of people did not die in a few big battles. This was probably not purely due to luck and strength. It's said that its divine weapon had been borrowed by many people. Did the people who borrowed its divine weapon not care about their relationship at all? If the cat was willing to borrow it, those who were qualified to borrow from it must at least have the strength of a titled true god, right? When these people were alive, they were probably protecting this cat. It was the same now. Old Zhang borrowed its divine weapon. How could he not remember the favor? Fang Ping chuckled. This cat really knows how to invest. This is the real case of great wisdom appearing stupid. It has invested in a few of the most outstanding talents of this era. Yes, they can continue to live. Li Hansong glanced at him. Were you talking about old Zhang or yourself? I keep feeling like you're talking about yourself. Fang Ping laughed heartily. That's right. I'm talking about myself. What's wrong? Can't I? Wait and see. Sooner or later, I'll surpass old Zhang and beat him up. The harvest this time was not bad. Not only did he have more than 800 million wealth points, he also got some good stuff. Let's go and collect the spoils, then go back to cultivate. This time, I want to take advantage of old Zhang's absence and lead the way. Fang Ping laughed. Combat techniques, weapons cultivation, strength control. If he did all these well, his combat strength would increase greatly. When that time came, he could also become an invincible rank 9 for fun. Billions of wealth points were waiting for him to collect. It was better to get them into his pocket as soon as possible. P.S. The plot is over. The Magic City battle has come to an end. Brothers don't talk about it anymore. There must be some foreshadowing from one plot to the next. These few chapters are actually foreshadowing and explaining the background. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.